Isakole. Okay.
Do you have a heart of coal kind of thing? No.
The funny thing is I made that PSN name, which then turned into my Twitter name 4 years before I started making content. I was already thinking about branding.
That's awesome.
Shit.
Way ahead of me. Yeah, I never thought of Gator. I mean, oh well.
And here we are.
Here we are. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, the gator that can't spell his own name.
Yeah. Oh, you should hear when I'm on Twitch streams, people will go, they'll look at the name and go, GATR, thanks for subbing. Or they'll go, Gatter, thanks, Gatter. I'm like, I sub to Dr. Disrespect. He goes, Gatter, thanks for your donation. I'm like, oh man.
He can get it right. Come on.
Oh man.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And thanks for hanging out with us today. Welcome to episode 57 of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe and interview content creators and community members to find out more about them. I'm your host, The Gator. And my co-host, Hazel, is here as well. How's your week been, man? I've heard you've been playing some new games.
I don't. Yeah, I was trying to think, what the hell have I been playing? But yeah, I have been playing some other games and that kind of thing. It's been fun. I played a couple things with Jealous and Ninja Muffin and those guys. It's pretty fun. But I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yeah, my week's been pretty good. Celebrated my wife's birthday for like a week. That's
And your daughter.
Well, yeah, her birthday, we're going on, 2 days now? So.
Oh my gosh, you do it for both? You have the same ritual for your daughter too?
Don't get it wrong, man. This is not my ritual.
Okay.
This is not my ritual.
I know, I just wanted you to say that.
I'm just subjected to this.
Okay.
So yes, just doing that, celebrating that. So we've had cake for God knows how long. Feels like 2 weeks of cake, but yeah. That's about it for me. We did go canoeing, so that was great. I got to work off some of the cake that I've been eating. So, yeah. What about you, man? Well,
I have a fully functioning kitchen now. Boy, you don't realize how much you miss your kitchen until you don't have it for a month. And you're cooking from a microwave and a toaster oven that pops the breaker every time you turned it on. Yeah, our kitchen's almost there. I have to put some new receptacles and little hang lights and stuff like that. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend between editing. So, yeah, well, I'm real excited this week. I think me and Hazel are both giddy about this. Tonight's guest is a Destiny gamer, creator of Bad Destiny Joke and Shaxx Motivation on Twitter, is a leader and creator of the Redjack network gaming community, and a Twitch streamer. All in all, very busy lady. Our new friend of the show, Isakole. How are you tonight, Isakole?
I am doing pretty good, actually. Had a pretty busy day. Been playing. I actually played Solstice for the first time today because I've logged in all week.
Nice.
Been kind of hooked on Fall Guys. So
we'll talk about that. Yeah, you never thought I'd ever play another game, but I think I found one. All right, so just
drinking.
Oh God, I want to talk so much about it, but we'll wait. We'll wait. Come on, Todd. You got this. All right. So just an overview of tonight's show. First, we're going to hear Isakole's story and what she loves about Destiny so much. Hazel's going to go over the TWAB for this week. I should say week 10 of Season of Arrivals, and talk some Destiny. Probably Solstice of Heroes, which seems to be the big thing going on right now in Destiny. Then finally, we're going to answer questions from our community and our Twitter community as well. We've got quite a few questions from them this week, and add 2 songs each to our Guardian Downcast show playlist on Spotify and iTunes. All right, everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I've got so many questions, Isakole, but let's start with this. We kind of like to get a little, kind of a helicopter view of what you're all about. So let me start with this. Where did you grow up, and what was your childhood like?
So I grew up in a military family, and we moved a lot.
Okay.
which is typical. Probably never stayed any more than a year and a half at one place. So we were constantly moving because my dad was actually a nuclear technician for the Navy.
Wow. Okay.
And then my mom was a clerk. So like we were just moving all the time. So we never really had a place to call home.
Okay.
So it's just one big mess of a childhood. Didn't get to watch TV or movies, not even Disney as a kid.
Oh.
Didn't get to play video games, which is kind of funny now. But I was a very strict military/religious household, so it was very oppressive.
Okay. Well, where do you call home now?
Austin, Texas.
Austin
which is the weirdest place I've probably lived because after I left my parents' house, aka got kicked out on my 18th birthday.
Ooh.
I actually kept moving around the country, and I didn't actually stay in one place for over a year until I got married, which was down here in Austin, and I've been down here for 8 years now. So nice. I've been all over.
Very cool.
Favorite place that you've been to? Besides Austin, of course.
Yeah. To live, it would be Austin because the Austin motto is keep Austin weird, which this motto for our city was actually instated before Oregon picked it up, Portland, Oregon, so they can fuck off.
I like her already, Hazel.
But probably my favorite place to visit is San Francisco. I love that city. It's so pretty. It's just too expensive.
Well, fun fact, my music pick last week was Missio, and they are from Austin, Texas. And you talk about weird, they are exactly that. But they're, God, one of my favorite groups.
I mean, so my husband picked me up from North Carolina because we met online.
Okay.
And the first time we ever met was when he was picking me up in North Carolina to move me down here to Austin, Texas. We never met before then face to face.
Okay.
So he drove up there to get me because I was in a wheelchair at the time, drove me back down. And the first thing he pointed out when we were coming in Austin was a giant concrete gorilla that was painted pink.
Oh, boy.
And nobody knows how it got there.
Just
it's
appeared.
Just sitting there.
Wow.
It's just a pink gorilla sitting there.
Okay.
Huh.
So it's a very weird place. I mean, we got 6th Street. We got Austin City Limits. We have a thing called Eeyore's Birthday Party.
Okay.
Which is actually based off of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
But it's a closed-in park, so there's like trees and like you can't see into the park until you're actually in there. And it's the only time of the year where women can go topless. And we have a whole bunch of like breweries and such that set up booth there, and they sell beer, greasy, just junk food, and all of the proceeds actually go to charity. One big birthday bash.
You have my attention now.
It's very, very hippie-ish.
Topless, fatty food, and beer. What's not to like in Austin?
Probably the traffic, but that's about it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's a very, very weird place.
Wow. Well, okay. While Gator digests that whole,
I'm hungry. I'll be right back. I'm hungry. I can do something real quick.
Put your shirt on. So
how did you know? How did you know that?
I mean, I almost didn't wear pants, but whatever.
That's why we don't do webcams. So we appreciate you asking, but All right. So during the beginning of this, you mentioned that you have a couple cats. How's your home life?
I do. So I have a black and white cat named Val. He's actually named after the Star Wars character Wallen Val.
Really? Nice.
Yes, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh, yes.
I actually fell in love with it through the Karen Traviss trilogy. She did an excellent series on the Mandalorians. By the way, fuck the Disney series. It was awful. If you love it, that's great, but it's way off base of what it was actually established.
Did you read all the comics and stuff?
I have some of the comics, but believe it or not, Boba Fett is technically not a Mandalorian.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Exclusive.
This is how far my nerdom goes.
You know what? I think I'm going to title the show that. Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian. That'll get everyone's attention.
You're going to piss so many people off. But so Boba Fett is technically not a Mandalorian, and it's not because he was a clone of Jango Fett. That doesn't matter. What matters is his armor, which was not Jango Fett's armor, but Boba Fett's armor is not 60% Beskar or more. Like the Beskar metal,
No, right.
His armor does not reflect the ratio that it needs in order to be a Mandalorian set of armor. So technically, he's breaking one of the rules of the Rezalnare, which is the 6 rules of Mandalorian culture. So technically, he's not a Mandalorian.
You know, when I was watching The Mandalorian, I was thinking that too. I was thinking, you know what? It doesn't look like that's pure. I don't think that's over 60%. Hush, Hazel.
Like, my nerdom goes so far into the Mandalorian
I love
culture that
awesome.
I actually have the Mythosar tattooed on my arm from shoulder to elbow.
Wow. That's cool.
And I can speak and read the language.
Really? Okay.
That's amazing.
There's a whole language. Like Karen Travis started it, and she based it off of Gaelic from the ancient Vikings. And then I had a whole group of friends, and we were huge Mandalorian fans because of this trilogy. And we actually fleshed out the rest of the language and then used it for call-outs at Halo 3 tournaments.
Nice.
Oh, wow. I like that.
The nerdom goes so deep.
Well, you did say you were married. Do you have any kids? Or are you just newly married? Or
To answer the first question, I have one other cat too named Squish.
Cat. Sorry. Yeah,
No,
that's
you're
right.
So we have Bull and Val.
Okay.
My black and white tuxedo cat. He has a big personality. He's about 2.5 feet long when he just stretches out.
Wow.
Huge
Okay.
cat. Very cuddly, even though he's an asshole, which is why he's named after an asshole character.
I love it.
And then I have Squish, who was my husband's cat before we got together. Val was mine. And Squish is a Seal Point Berman, and he isn't all there. Like, can you look at him? He's looking at you. You can see there's no lights on.
Oh, no. Is he an old cat?
No, he's not a very old cat. Maybe 8 or 9. But,
Yeah, that's average.
he is a mentally challenged cat.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
He might have been the run of the litter, maybe, or something. That happens.
Well, when Gary got him, he was the size of his palm. Like, he was tiny.
It was probably abandoned, I bet. Or yeah.
Because both of our cats are rescues.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't have any kids. We do have a stepdaughter. I have a stepdaughter through Gary, but otherwise it's just the 2 of us. And the way our house runs is that we both have 6-foot by 5-foot IKEA L desks that actually mirror each other, and the TVs between them. And we have one comfy chair and a bed, and that's all of our furniture. We literally sit at our computers all day.
That's pretty organized.
A lot. That explains a lot about what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard that you don't even take a breath. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get into it, but I don't know how you do what you do. It is just crazy. Well, let's do this. Let's jump back to when Isakole was just a little tyke. What was your earliest moment in gaming? Or can you pinpoint when that was?
Maybe not earliest type then.
Well, you may not be a tyke. That's true.
Yeah. So
the only real time I ever played a video game as a kid was in my cousin's basement. He had a PS2, so that's like really dating it back. And he put in Spyro the Dragon, and I played maybe half an hour of it before my mom found out, and she freaked out. But I remember it as like I got to run around as a little purple dragon on a TV. Like, it was the coolest thing in the world to me. And then I didn't get to play video games. I heard about Pokemon and all that through my friends. They read their Pokedex books and all that. Kind of learned like a little bit of Final Fantasy through them talking about it, but I never really got to play.
Right.
Until I was kicked out of the house, and then that's when I a little while later, I picked up an Xbox 360. So technically, Halo 3 was my first real game, and I just picked it up and started running with it. And that's when I started competing and started doing little tournaments and stuff. Like, it was great. But yeah, so to go from knowing nothing to working in this industry now,
That's amazing.
in like 13 years, is actually kind of weird.
That's a lot in 13 years.
It's awesome.
You played in Halo tournaments.
Yes. I did some Midwestern tournaments because that's where I was living at the time.
Okay.
And this was like before MLG like blew up to where it was. So it was a lot of local LAN stuff. And I remember like just going to these tournaments and having a lot of fun with it. And there was a sort of not the official Midwestern, like this is the championship. Because it was so scattered back then that there wasn't really a circuit. But I remember going to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and they were having a huge tournament, and I actually ended up winning that one altogether, because it was like all 1v1s. There was no teams or anything. And then I went back the following year to defend my title, and I won it again. So like 2 times in a row.
Wow.
First time actually doing tournament stuff, and I won.
And how long did you say you were playing Halo before you got into tournaments?
I want to say, I think I was playing for a good year and a half.
My God, that's a
just
steep learning curve. Jeez.
I just picked it up and ran.
That is amazing.
Wow.
So, Green did tell us that you kick ass in PvP.
I mean, I have fun in it.
That's what all the good players say, by the way. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, when I have my boot on someone's neck, yeah, it's pretty fun.
She's like, nothing gives me more pleasure than running somebody from spawn to spawn and killing them.
Oh, don't get me started with spawn to spawn.
So it's actually kind of funny because, like, the first tournament I went to, this guy asked if I was there to cheer on a boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
I ended up kicking his ass.
Good.
Really bad.
Good.
And
You
then
didn't enjoy that at all.
Oh, no, not at all. And then the following year, I had a different guy. He didn't believe me when I said I was there to defend the title. He thought I was joking.
That's motivation. That's what I call that.
And then recently, actually, when the Master Chief Collection came out a couple years ago, I went with my husband to his buddy's house because they were having a huge house party. And like downstairs, I had like the Xbox going, and then upstairs, I had Jackbox going. And so he'd already been bragging to his friends that like I knew Halo really well and like I was doing well in Destiny. So his friends challenged me to a 3v1.
Oh my gosh.
I'm then invited back to the house.
I'm thinking that didn't go like they thought it would.
So I believe it was anything they wanted, any weaponry on Valhalla in Halo 3.
Jeez.
And I ended up beating him like 100 to, I think it was less than 20 kills for them.
Oh my gosh.
It was something just not there.
That would be fun to watch.
And that was on an Xbox controller that I haven't like touched at all.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
many.
You know what? Some people just got it. It just clicks. It just clicks mentally in their brain. It just clicks.
I'm so afraid to pick it up on PC though, because like I'm afraid the skill's not going to be there anymore. And like I can talk such a huge game, but I'm just not there anymore.
PvP is a different animal. I force myself to play controller on PvP and on PC, and it's eye opening. You definitely have to be.
Yeah, I'd probably have to do controller because just like I can't do mouse and keyboard at all.
Well, I have carpal tunnel, so I can't really go mouse and keyboard anymore.
My brain gets confused with the keys. So
I get it. No, I get it.
That's my issue too.
That's why I asked, what button do I press? There's too many buttons in front of me glowing.
Too many buttons.
So I'll go with this is one that's not on here, but it's one that we typically ask, and it's basically I have a feeling I know the answer, but how did you find Destiny? Like Destiny 1, I'm guessing, or you know.
So this is a funny story. So after Halo ODST, I was very upset with Bungie because I didn't like ODST at all. I didn't play 4. I didn't play Reach. I didn't do any of that. After ODST, I was so upset. I'm like, I'm never touching a Bungie game ever again because I was that upset. And then I heard from my coworker that they were making Destiny. I'm like, I have no interest. I don't care. Don't talk to me about it. I'm still mad. This is like years later. Like I carried a grudge. Then like I was just bored one day at work because I was working like long shifts in an office by myself in the middle of a call center. So I just started flipping through gaming trailers, and it's like, all right, I'll just let the YouTube, playlist go.
Right.
And it bounced over to the Destiny live action trailer, and I was too lazy to lift my hand up out of my lap to hit the next button.
Oh my God.
I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch the trailer, whatever.
Oh,
fine.
I'm not going to enjoy this at all.
I think that was serendipity.
So I sat there and watched it, and this is like the live action trailer with like the hunter like blinking through the cabal and everything. They're just rocking out. And the thing that sold me on it, because I didn't see any gameplay at all. Like, this is just live action. And the thing that sold me was the ghost. Like, I have to have this game because of the ghost. So I started looking it up, and I found out about the Ghost Edition. Like, oh, fuck, I have to have this. The day I found out about Destiny was the Sunday before launch. The 2 days before launch. So obviously, Ghost Edition sold out. Like, it's the most anticipated game of the year.
Yeah.
And I was heartbroken. I called my husband, like, please just find this somewhere. I have to have it. He couldn't find it anywhere. So I pre-ordered the PS4 copy through a buddy of mine who ran a gaming shop. And I was sitting there waiting for it before I went to work, and FedEx was running late. So I had to leave before they got there with the game copies. And so I picked up my husband because we worked at the same place. And he's like, you know what, let's just stop at Fry's Electronics on the way to work and see if they have a copy. That way you can play immediately when we get home. I'm like, all right, fine. We walk in, and they have a little fold-out table, and not even like a tablecloth or anything, just a measly little fold-out table filled with Destiny stuff. There was one unclaimed Ghost Edition.
Wow. What are the odds?
Right there. I'm like, what are the odds of that happening? But it was for Xbox, not PlayStation.
That's good enough.
So we picked up the Xbox copy and then a PS4 regular copy. And I've gotten every single collector's edition since, like, when D2 was announced. I started a new job, so I didn't want to be like online shopping trying to get the collector's edition.
Sure.
So 4 hours later, I popped over to GameStop, and they're like, yeah, we're sold out. Everywhere sold out. And I started bawling. Like, I have never missed a collector's edition. This is bullshit. You have to find one. This is crazy. Like, it's 4 hours. Like, I was just broken. So I went and picked up Gary from work, and I was just crying. He's like, all right, let's go home. We'll find you something. And he searched for 2.5 hours trying to find me a collector's edition. He went, like, in Austin. He searched all the way up to Colorado, all the way over to fucking New Mexico. Like, he was looking at every single store he could possibly find.
That's a keeper.
And he found a copy in San Angelo, Texas. It's not close to us at all. It's a 3.5 hour drive.
Road trip.
Yeah. Like, the night before D2 launch, he drove me out there. Like, he actually offered them to have me stay home and just game, waiting for him to come back. Like, no, I'm going with you. And we road tripped out there the night before because that Best Buy wasn't doing a midnight release. Got up super early and waited for Best Buy employees to get there and open the damn doors. And then I was holding it on my lap the entire way back for 3.5 hours.
So it's safe to assume you like Destiny.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I have a Destiny tattoo, so. You
know what's funny is people sometimes crap on this game, how it's all the things that they hate about this game, but I swear to God, everything in the Destiny store sells out in no time. So who's buying this stuff, If it's such a crap game.
Not playing.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Okay.
Game redeem. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
It's been a journey. Like, I almost didn't pick up Destiny because of a stupid grudge over an old game.
Yeah, think of that.
And, like, if I hadn't picked it up, I wouldn't have made Baz the Destiny joke. I wouldn't have made Shaxx Motivation. I would have never met my best friends. Wow. Like, literally, Destiny changed my destiny. As stupid as that is to say. So cliche, but it did.
I saw this game, I saw the action trailer at E3 the year before, and I was irritated because it didn't come out that fall. Remember they delayed it a year? And I was so irate, and I was waiting for this game. I was from Call of Duty, and I was so sick of Call of Duty. And well, let me ask you this: favorite moment from Destiny 1 or Destiny 2? I know you probably got a ton, but can you think of one right now?
From Destiny 1, it would probably have to be. It's just gonna be so dumb. So I had a team for the day 1 raid race for the Taken King. Like, we knew our shit. We knew the Bungie mechanics. We knew what their prompts were, so we could figure this out and just go. Like, we were in the race. And when we got to Golgoroth's maze, the door didn't open.
Oh, I remember that.
So we're thinking, okay, we had to flip some switches somewhere. I mean, there was all these alcoves with these plates on them, and there was a tone when you stepped on them. So we're thinking, okay, there's a key. We had to do this to unlock the door, not just, have all 6 players at the door. It's like, we didn't figure that out because there was one guy lagging behind because he kept falling in the damn pits. But so it's like, and I was the raid leader. I'm like, okay, everyone pick a plate, go to it. We're gonna figure out the sequence. We're gonna figure out now. So we did, and like, it took us a good 45 minutes to figure out the tones, and then the doors didn't open. Like, okay, what the fuck happened? And then that's when we found the chest accidentally. So technically, we were the first to open Golgoroth's maze chest on day 1. But we were so dumb and so impatient that we ran ourselves out of the raid race.
Oh.
So that's probably my favorite moment from D1. From D2, actually no, from D1, winning trials for the first time, going to the lighthouse.
That's pretty cool.
It took me 3.5 months to go flawless. Like, I worked my ass off, and the final moment when we got our flawless, I actually dropped my controller and started bawling all the way during the flight.
It's a big achievement. It's a big achievement.
Like 3.5 months.
And you did it on your own. You didn't get Sherpa'd. You just did it on your own. You kept trying.
Just fought it out.
That's really good. So what was it worth it?
Oh yeah, absolutely worth it.
When you do it yourself,
Oh yeah, it was absolutely worth it. I think I stood in the lighthouse for a good
I did too.
Hours.
I was in there. I could stay as long as I wanted, so I was like, I'm going to see every crack and crevice of this place.
But probably from D2, my favorite moments, I had a couple of them. So one, and I know this is a question later on, was meeting my best friend, Green, which we'll save that for that question.
Okay, sure.
But the second favorite moment is probably meeting an old friend, because I had a friend and we helped run a massive clan back in D1 that actually got a Bungie spotlight at one point. We were like the second in commands. And after a whole clan drama bullshit thing where I ended up leaving, we sort of got cut off because of, stupid politics, where it's like, if people were still talking to me, they would get kicked out of the clan. Like, that was legit happening.
Yeah, we think we've all been there.
Yeah. So I kind of kept my distance from him because I didn't want to fuck up what he worked hard for.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of kept his distance. We let it pull us apart. And then I forget why they had it out there, but one of these past events, you could go into the Cosmodrome where you first were found by Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I was standing there and I was talking to chat on stream, and I was in there with Green, my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zod, my old friend, popped in, and I didn't realize it. I didn't see the bar pop up saying Zod has joined your fire team.
Wow.
And he ran all the way out from the spawn point. Or no, we were in D1, but we were doing a D1 stream.
Sure.
But
yeah.
he ran all the way out. And I'm like talking about how I started in Destiny, where it's come to now. And I turn around, and my favorite warlock is standing there.
That's awesome.
I just started bawling.
What a touching
I'm actually
moment.
getting teary-eyed right now.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
I'm not either.
No, I'm not crying. No, I mean, I can picture that. That'd be amazing to see that. And I bet you whoever was on stream that day was probably bawling too.
Oh, yeah, because we hadn't actually talked at all since that moment. And he popped into my fire team, and then he popped into my PSM party.
Right.
And to hear his voice just to say, "Hi, Cole," it just broke me.
Yeah, I hear you. Same thing happened. Not to overtalk your story because that's just amazing how that happens. But I've had a lot of my old clanmates from, politics happen, things happen in life, and I've had a bunch of my old raid friends come back and join our Discord and join our clan, and I know they're just talking about raiding with some of my new friends now. I love the intermeshing of all the friends now. Hearing them doing raids and stuff, and I didn't shed a tear, but it felt really good. It felt really good to see people come together. We had not talked for 2 years, most of these friends. So,
and Zod actually ended up joining the Redjack network after that.
Very cool.
So
very cool.
I have all my friends in my one place. So,
well, let's talk about that. I mean, let's talk about the Redjack network because I don't know much about it. It looks like when did you form this, I guess, and why did you form it?
So I started it this year, believe it or not, at the beginning of March. And It's grown to 1,200 members.
What? Say that again? 1,200?
Yes.
So how many Destiny clans do you have?
So official Redjack Network clan members, we have a little over 500. So we have 6 divisions.
Wow.
But between the actual Redjacks and allies, because anyone can join the Discord, we have over 1,200 members.
That is amazing.
Since March.
That's a lot of friends. Wow. That's a lot of friends.
Yeah. But I started it because of Shaxx's motivation, because I kept seeing, because I would tweet out, make a friend, play with somebody, blah, blah, blah. And all these people would say, well, I don't have an active clan. I don't have anybody to play with. Nobody plays with me because I'm trans or I'm gay or they make fun of my voice. There's, just stupid bullshit that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. So
I'm sitting there going, well, fuck, why don't I just make a goddamn clan? I'll just take all these guys in.
There you go.
And I did. And it originally started as a closed-off clan because I just wanted, a little clan for myself because I didn't have anybody at the time. Like, I was just clanless. I was running around. So I made Redjack Network for my small group. And then it's just like, well, why am I being elitist? Why am I being picky and choosy?
Mm-hmm.
So I opened it up to everybody. And, the floodgates just, it exploded so fast.
Well, Isakole, think about it. Galahorn needed. Must have so much elo. I mean, it's crazy how people say, well, if you don't know how to raid, don't bother. That kind of stuff.
And I hate that because I used to run 3 training raids a day, 6 days a week back in TTK.
Yeah.
I love teaching people raids. It's so fun. So to see all the people that just needed a home or just needed a Discord full of active people, it's just like, all right, why don't I just do it?
That's amazing.
And it became so much bigger. But that's not even my first clan that I made. I had one earlier a few years ago called Ethereal Ravens that just tanked because of politics and toxicity and all that. So I shut it down.
It happens. Yeah.
So I just was running around clanless, joined a couple of them, but it really didn't work out. And then I just made Redjack Network, and it's grown by leaps and bounds, and it honestly would not be where it is today if it wasn't for the staff system. I'll actually give you legit numbers right now because we actually have our own Discord bot. That's how many fucking people we have.
Yeah, and Hazel, she started it in March of this year.
Yeah.
March.
That is amazing. No, I'm not going to brag here, but we have a 3 Discord bot as well that works with the 100.io. No, just bragging a little. I mean, I'm really proud. Kingsley did a great job on that.
Yeah, she's going to crush you.
Oh, I will crush you.
We have 7 community leads. We have 11 staff members, so it's like this next tier down. And then we have 14 support staff members. So it's like a 3-tiered system.
Nice.
Within the clan, over all the divisions, we have 538 members. We have 43 hopefuls, so that's the number of people trying to get in, trying to get their applications approved.
Sure.
Which is nothing more than getting into Discord and applying on Bungie.net.
Yeah.
And then just in over the 3 platforms, so Redjacks and Allies together, we have 1,173 members.
Wow.
For PC.
Just for PC?
Yeah.
I think it's the whole. I was just gonna say that you beat me to it, Hazel.
536 for Xbox, and then 774 for PlayStation.
That's amazing. Now,
and 16 for Stadia.
If someone wanted to work their way up into the support roles, how do you assess that? Is that just by participation or?
So originally it was people going, "Hey Cole, can I help with this?" Because if you reach out saying, "Hey, I have an idea," or "Hey, I want to help with this,"
right.
Then it's like, "All right, here you go, try this." And it's kind of a tiered thing where I kind of test them, like, okay,
sure.
Here's a small little thing. If you can do that, here's a bigger thing, and here's a bigger thing.
Wow.
But now because it's so big and so hands-on, I actually have like all the leads handle that. So like, if anybody in the staff system sees somebody that's being super helpful, they just say, "Hey, this person would be great. They're super helpful. They're nice. You know, they're really active in the community," and
right.
they'll get bumped up. Like it's like as long as you're, you know, a solid Redjack Network member, like you're actually in the clan, and you're just doing your stuff, helping out, and it's, you know, you'll get noticed eventually. So
very nice. That's cool.
And it even came to the point where I stepped back so far from the community because I'm doing so much other stuff.
Just a little.
Just a little. I don't even have my own rank anymore because I used to be like at the top. But so many people would DM me going, "Hey, I need help with this." I'm like, "Dude, I can't do this right now."
You're the ethereal class. You're just way up in the ether.
So we actually bumped me down to where I'm like the same rank as all the leads. So I'm kind of like the founder is hiding amongst the leads.
Oh, that's awesome. I like it.
But yeah, cool. It's expansive. And it's like we even have our own website. Like
that's awesome.
It's actually a really pretty website. I need to update it too.
That's cool.
We have merch coming out soon. We have our own ongoing tournament called the Augmented. So like the Augmented Redjacks, kind of like Dahlia on our site, where on each platform. So like for instance, I have the title of Augmented. This is actually how I started. I have Augmented, and then somebody challenges me into a 1v1. The challenger gets to pick the map. There's no weaponry or armor that's
out of bounds
from this.
Right.
Yeah, because, you know, it changes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be 10 minutes and regular respawn time. So it's just like a regular Crucible match in Rumble. And if I win, I get to keep the Augmented title. If the other person wins, they get the Augmented title and a specialty title in the Discord. So they're a different color. And then people just keep going and challenging, and it keeps changing hands, so it's a lot of fun.
Competition's good.
Oh yeah, and if nobody dethrones the Augmented in a month, then 2 people get to challenge the Augmented.
You thought of so much in this. I love it.
And then like if the Augmented wins, and obviously, you know, they can still be challenged. Right. But if the 2 win, then they have to fight it out to see who gets the title.
That is cool. That is
a lot of fun.
That is really cool.
Can we steal that idea?
Oh, absolutely. I don't care.
Asking for a friend.
I came up with it in like a day, so I don't care.
Oh,
that is brilliant.
Yeah, I'll let you set that up, Hazel.
Well, you're the PvP guy.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm the meat shield, so come on now.
Yeah, then I get challenged and I'll lose it in one day.
Hey, it's fine. Then it gets to somebody else.
That's actually a good idea.
Them.
I like that. I like that.
It's kind of just an ongoing competition.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I'm the brains of the operation. He's the brawn.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, you said that Shaxx motivation was the reason why it sort of led to the Redjacks network. Mm-hmm. Do you have any favorite Shaxx motivations?
I think it's the ones about mental health. We're kind of going to go a little dark here, but I'm a huge advocate for mental health. Joe, who runs or helped found Guardians Mental Health, is actually one of my good friends. And I know all the staff over there, they're great people. They've helped me out a lot, actually. But I constantly tweet out about mental health because I know there's a lot of people struggling. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people saying, "Hey, I don't have any friends. I don't know who to talk to." So I always divert them over there. But there was a moment this past year, because Shaxx motivation has only been around since August 21st of last year. It's not even a year old yet.
Okay.
Which is crazy to think about. But
yeah, but you tweeted every day.
I've tweeted almost every day.
I was looking at your history, like, wow, every day.
But like there was a day where I forget what actually happened on the tweet or what I said, but some people start coming forward saying, "Hey, you've actually saved my life." And there was all these people coming forward either in replies or DMs, because I had Shaxx Motivation DMs open for a while, where I actually, it was me responding to people one-on-one, giving them advice or reaching out or, helping them work through stuff or, giving them resources. And I had to shut it down because it was just too much. I was getting over 100 DMs a day.
Oh my gosh.
But I had over 30 people either publicly or privately tell me that they would not still be here if I hadn't said something to them or tweeted or did something. So that's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Because I've been there twice where I've thought about suicide. So I know what it's like. And to think if that had happened, like if it had gone through, then maybe those 30 people wouldn't be here today.
What a terrible thing it would be if Isakole wasn't here. You know what I'm saying? I think we had another friend of ours who spoke of that when we first started this podcast, and I was so moved. And I would just think, my gosh, what a travesty if that person was not here now, because they shine so much light.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to think about, but one of my leads, and I won't say who it is, for confidentiality, but they actually told me if it wasn't for Shaxx Motivation and then the Redjack network and then me believing in their ability to help build a community, that they would not be here. So, and that person's now like inside, because I have so many Discord servers. I have one specifically for staff.
Nice.
And he's in there. And so when I see his name, it's like, I might have seen that name at all if I hadn't done what I did.
Very true.
And it's kind of eerie.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're missing from time. I just couldn't imagine it. I think sometimes you need someone outside to look in on your life and kind of get an outside perspective of things. Just say, hey, this isn't too bad. You're okay.
Yeah.
And I know we deal with Chris 3711. He does a lot of help in our Discord as well. Mm-hmm. And of course, in other areas too. And it's a widespread thing. It's a widespread thing that there's a lot of people dealing with it now. And then add COVID and all the other good things that are going on right now.
Yeah.
Just piles on.
Yeah, that's kind of like just yesterday I opened up my personal Discord server, and before I did that, I reached out to Shaxx Motivation, who's actually on my staff now, and or not Shaxx Motivation, Saint Motivation. There's so many ones, many now. But I reached out to Saint and hey, can you DM all these Destiny Motivation accounts and send them an invite, and I want to give them a special role in my personal Discord. So I'm trying to get it to where we all collaborate together. Just to fill the timeline with resources and positivity and all that, because there's 7 motivation accounts now. So we're just kind of trying to flood Twitter with some positive vibes.
It's awesome.
I'm just curious, Hazel, do you have a favorite Shaxx Motivation?
A favorite? Just one?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking of one now, but I'm curious what you might have. You think of one?
Well, I mean, this is one recently that I was like doing some research and that kind of thing. And I was like, you know what? There was that one from, I didn't remember even when it was. I was just like, I started going back through all of them trying to find it. So, and it was actually from January 9th of this year. It was do the thing. Don't worry if it's been done before. Don't worry if you'll do it perfectly. Just do the thing. And I'm like, fuck, like that's exactly where I'm at like right now. It's just like, I just need to fucking just do it. And it was just funny that I didn't remember even really what it said. I just remember how it made me feel. And it still made me feel the same way. Like reading it this time as it did the first time I read it. Because now I'm in a different space. So it's like, okay, fuck, I really needed to hear that again, didn't I?
Yeah.
What about you, man?
I have a document where I cut and paste stuff I see all the time. And if I'm feeling down or not motivated, I can just pop this right up. And This one was from July 16th. It's get up, seize the day, punch it into submission by completing tasks. Do the little ones first to get them out of the way. Then tackle the big ones since the ball is already rolling. Don't pay attention to your haters. Get revenge by living your best life and outliving them. That last sentence just got me. And I cut and paste stuff all the time. I have a document. I just keep throwing it in. And I just scroll through that stuff. And I have YouTube stuff too. I keep too. But these little sayings like this are really nice to just get you in the right frame of mind.
You want to know how I come up with those?
I was going to ask this. How do you come up with these every day?
So I actually tweet those out from my desk at work at my first job at the warehouse. Because I have a little tiny lobby. It's like maybe half the size of my living room.
Okay.
And I have 2 floor-to-ceiling windows just looking out over a parking lot full of like trucks and all that. And it's got the highway overhead. And there's one tree that I can see from my desk. And more often than not, I'm kind of just staring at that tree, trying to figure out what I'm going to tweet. And I don't schedule those tweets. I make them up on the spot and just send them out there. So it's kind of me just like staring into space for 5 minutes going, what the fuck am I going to say today? And I just put it out there.
That's there's a lot of beauty in nature. I'm a big nature guy. I'll be taking my dogs out in the morning. I'll just stare up into the sky and see the wind blowing through the trees. It's amazing. Just sit there and just quiet your mind and just look up and sorry, I'm looking up in my probably away from my mic.
Looking up at his ceiling.
I am. I'm reenacting what I do and sorry, I'm away from my mic. That's great though that you use that as for not for motivation but for inspiration, I should say. I like it.
Yeah, it's just like it's a job, but it's not like what I want to do for the rest of my life. So it's just like more often than not, I'm just like staring into space going, okay, 4 o'clock needs to get here. So all those tweets usually come out when I'm at work.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, you didn't, we didn't ask you, what do you do for a living?
So I'm an office manager / warehouse manager for a rather small warehouse distributor here in Austin.
Okay.
And it's basically an ice warehouse, kind of like Ready Ice, but local.
Okay.
I'm not going to say the name because I answer the phone. I don't want people calling me. But I just sit at a desk all day doing paperwork, answering the phone, distributing deliveries and all that. And it's very mundane. It's not what I want to do because there's nowhere to go in the company because the only person above me is the owner. So I know it's a dead end where it already is. And I don't, not one of those people where I go to work, do my job, go home, watch Netflix, rinse and repeat. I can't do that. So I just it was a job for the time that I needed it because I got laid off from my previous job. So I picked it up and I just kind of went with it. My other job is the branding specialist for Poorly Timed Games.
I was going to ask you about that. Now, this is an indie developer that you started, or are you part of it? Or
so it is a brand new studio founded by Chris, who used to work at Bungie and then Blizzard before that. So he knows what he's doing.
Okay.
And he started it this year, and it's kind of funny that it's named Poorly Timed Games because he started right before a pandemic. And then the name actually doesn't fit as a Twitter handle. It actually cuts off the S of games. So
I always wondered why there was a apostrophe S at the end of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Twitter.
Not apostrophe brackets S, sorry.
Yeah. So we started this year, and there was 2 people in the studio. And we had just been kind of talking back and forth in DMs because he sent me the studio icon going, hey, what do you think of this? Little opinions here and there. Mm-hmm. And then he came to me one day. He's like, well, what do you know about branding? Which, I've done branding for Bad Destiny Joke, Shaxx Innovation, myself, and, everything else. Mm-hmm. So I kind of know what I'm doing. And he's like, well, why don't you write me up what you would do for the studio, campaign-wise, tweet-wise, all that. It's like, all right, let's see it. I'll do that. And he gave me a week to do it. I had it done in 3 hours.
Wow.
I sat in overnight. I'm like, okay, am I missing something? I wrote it so fast. Am I missing something? I had to, have fucked up somewhere.
Sure.
So I sat in overnight and I sent it the next day. It was Sunday. And he came back, he's like, well, when can you start? And keep in mind, I have been trying to get into the game industry for over 10 years.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. You tweeted that out it was just recently. And do you want to talk about that journey at all, or?
Yeah. So I wanted to get into video games when I started playing Halo, because I thought that was the coolest shit ever. Like, this is amazing, and I loved it. Mm-hmm. And a few years later, I think it was 2 or 3 years later, I was in San Francisco, because what I would do is I would save up my money and just fly to another city for a weekend. I would just fly out there with a backpack and, run around, get a hotel for a night, and then fly back. This was back when I was single, so it didn't really matter. But I flew to San Francisco one weekend, and the Game Developers Conference was going on. And this was like 10 years ago. So it was still kind of big. And there was like, a lot of studio big names walking around. And I actually snuck into GDC. I wasn't invited. I never paid the door fee to get in. If there was one, I didn't know. But I kind of like hustled myself into the registration line and signed myself up as a self-employed writer. Now I got to walk around the show floor and rub elbows with all these devs.
Nice job.
I kind of just like mushed myself into the whole conference.
Motivation.
Yeah. And it was fantastic. Like, they had all these art books and all these demos and like all these talks going on. And when I left for the day, I was like, okay, I'm starving. I'd been on my feet, just, soaking it all in. And there's a Denny's right down the street from the convention center that they always have it at. And that's where a lot of like devs and stuff, they go there and they just, grab a bite to eat.
Right.
And I walk in, there's like hardly anybody in there. It's like 3:30. It was like mid-afternoon. I remember that.
Okay.
And I saw this guy in a black hoodie that said Halo 3 across it in the Bungie. And you can kind of tell when, the difference between fan shirts and dev shirts, because devs have all the engines, like whatever engine they used, all the programs, everything on the sleeves.
Right.
So you can tell the difference. And he was eating by himself. So I kind of went over there. I'm like, hey, did you work on Halo? He's like, yeah, I was the lead programmer for Halo 3. And I kind of like fangirled a little bit. And he's like, and he saw my GDC badge. He's like, all right, well, have a seat, have dinner with me. And I kind of just geeked out. Because he was sitting there alone in a booth. And so like we just talked the entire time. And he ended up giving me his card, which I promptly lost like an idiot. Fuck, like I'm still kicking myself over that a decade later.
Yeah.
But so like that was when I knew I wanted to work in games, because like he was just gushing about Bungie and how awesome it was and all the great people, and I'm like, okay, I have to work there. I have to work at Bungie. And over the course of 10 years, I did everything I could. Like I applied to so many Bungie positions, and then like Ubisoft and all these indie studios around me. Like I've probably done over 300 to 400 applications for a dev job anywhere.
Right.
And the only experience I could tout was that I used to make 3D simulators like from the ground up. So like framing it out, building, the actual structures and everything.
So you, not to interrupt, but you have a coding background then? Not coding?
Technically coding. It's like, it's making the actual structures and stuff. Like
understanding the programs. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I would actually make, foliage, trees, landscapes, skyboxes, all that.
Okay.
Down to modeling my own grocery store shelves, because I didn't like what other people had on the market. So, and then I would do all the materials, the textures. Like I built everything from the ground up myself for Second Life, which is an open grid simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And I made roleplay sims. So I've made over half a dozen Star Wars simulator sims for roleplay.
Wow.
I own 4 of them myself. I made a couple cyberpunk ones, a couple dystopian ones. And that's the only experience I could say I had, was building simulators for Second Life from the ground up. Never got me anywhere. Like, I spoke to so many devs. I went to so many conventions where it's like, oh, meet the devs. Ask how to get in the industry. I gone to so many of those talks, and I kept telling them, this is what I've done, this is what I'm doing, this is what I know, why can't I get an interview? And none of them had an answer more than, you just need to keep trying.
Just
That's
tough.
Fucking bullshit is what it is. It's just fucking bullshit. Like, why can't I even get an interview? Why won't anybody just talk to me?
Right.
And I was just getting super frustrated with it. And I went to South by Southwest Gaming, which is, South by Southwest is a huge festival down here in Austin. They have their own gaming section.
Oh, yeah.
Last year they had the technical art of Anthem. And I love Anthem. Like, I don't play anymore, but I loved it when it came out. And I went to it, and I was actually running both Bad Destiny joke and Bad Anthem joke.
Okay.
Because Bad Anthem joke was there for a while, and there was actually some big name BioWare people following it. And I went to the panel, and they went through the whole thing. And they had the whole room for themselves like almost the entire day. So we all kind of just stood around asking, and I gave them the same thing, like, why can't I get in anywhere? And they're like, well, don't know, you gotta keep trying. And I turned around there, and two of the community managers are there, like the two big name ones. And they're like, I know you. Like, the fuck do you mean you know me? What the shit are you talking about? Like, you do Bad Anthem joke. I'm like, yeah. Like, we send those jokes out in the company email. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, I kind of just died a little bit on the inside. It was really cool.
Nice.
And, I asked them the same thing. They're like, we don't know either, but, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. It's like, all right, fine, whatever. And then, what was it? That same year, it was all last year because obviously COVID, which can go fuck itself, and missing out on so many conventions.
Yeah.
I went to PAX South like I always do, and they had another one of those bullshit panels where it's like, ask the devs, this is how we got in the industry, blah, blah, blah. And you strategically place yourself in the audience to get to the mic first. I kind of just sidestep out of my chair because I sit right next to it all the time. So when they had the whole microphone thing, I slipped out, gave them the whole spiel, which I had practically memorized by then because I've given it for 10 years. And one lady came from the hospitality industry. Another guy was he was a plumber turned designer. And all these people got in somehow. So I gave them the spiel, and they're like, well, just keep trying. And I was, embarrassed because just you said that to me with all this experience and all this stuff I've done in a room full of people who are trying to get into the industry and don't know what the fuck they're doing. But I do. And you're telling me that? Like, the hell are you going to tell the rest of these people? So it's a little frustrated. And I came away from PAX South, that panel last year, and it's just like, well, fuck. I give up. This is stupid. No one's giving me a chance. So I kind of just let that dream die a little bit until, my community started pushing me again. They're like, you shut up, keep trying. Pick yourself up. You're going to keep applying, keep going. It's like, all right, fine. And last year in November, I actually got a Bungie interview.
Oh, wow.
Because it was for a job I'd already done with Marriott for 3 years, which was live operations analytics, which sounds a lot more complicated than it does. But they were looking for something of that similar position, and I got the one Bungie interview, which I bombed.
Oh.
And I was heartbroken because I finally got my chance, and I fucking blew it because I don't interview well. Podcast, yeah, because I'm talking about something I know. Interviews, I clam up. I'm awful. It's not good for anybody. It's like watching a bunch of puppies get ran over by a train. It's just awful. So I was just heartbroken. It's like, well, fuck, the dream is dead. So I was just, I just started doing my thing, started doing more Shaxx motivation and more Bad Destiny joke and more content creation. It's like, all right, if no one's going to give me a chance, I'm going to do this shit myself and make a name for myself. And a couple months later, Chris is slipping into my DMs going, hey, write me a campaign test. And, next day I had a contract to sign with Poorly Timed Games. Talk about a fucking journey. And the best part is, the guy I had dinner with at GDC sat next to Chris for 3 years at Bungie. So he knew exactly who I was talking about.
Huh.
It kind of just came full circle. Like, it's kind of weird.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's quite the story. It's very long-winded, but yeah.
I'm just amazed that it all came around like that. It was just like
it's just crazy how it like kind of all worked out. Like, what the fuck? Now I'm working with Chris, who, you know, works with these huge names. I'm working with an art designer who was one of the big design leads for the Demigorgon from Stranger Things. Like, he's our art director now. That's amazing.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it's a roguelite that you're coming out with.
Yeah. And then we have Holtzman now, who just started with us this past
Very cool. That's awesome.
Which is amazing. And then, like, we have a couple other big names, like the guy, Jeff. He just came off of working for Marvel, writing the Iron Man VR game. Like, he was the narrative lead for that.
Shit.
So we've got some big,
like, serious stuff.
Yeah.
Here.
And like, you guys know Watermelon Exo, Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of our artists. Like,
wow.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy because, like, I could not imagine a better indie studio to work for right now. Like, it's just great because, like, I do my thing and Chris just leaves me alone, which is nice because, like, I don't like someone breathing down my neck all the time. It makes me really nervous because kind of like you're typing with somebody looking over your shoulder and you're just fucking up the typing all the time, but you're actually a great typist. But he just leaves me to do what I need to do, and just, like, I'm just rocking out, doing my thing, getting ready for when we can start opening up the community, which is going to be fantastic. And because Chris and I see eye to eye on a lot of stuff for what we want to build as a community, so it's going fucking great. So I'm excited. Like, I'm kind of just like building everything from the ground up with my own two hands to the point where I want to kind of embarrass some of the bigger name studios going, okay, one person did all this. What the fuck are we doing wrong?
Again, motivation.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Like it's kind of like it's like I like, even though it took a while to get into the industry, I'm kind of working my ass off to going, here's what you kind of missed out on all these years.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I like it.
But I will say I probably wouldn't have the maturity for such a job like this until this age, after all this experience with building everything else. So
Sure. Makes sense.
Probably just perfect timing happening right now.
Right.
It is awesome. One thing that you mentioned there was about bad Anthem joke and bad Destiny joke. Do you have a favorite one by chance of either? I'm seriously resisting the urge to say that Anthem is a bad joke in general.
Yeah.
I'm resisting that.
I wasn't going to say anything.
So I would probably have to say my favorite bad Anthem joke. I don't know if either of you played it. Did any of you play it?
I played my token hour and a half, maybe.
I played the beta for like 2 or 3 hours.
Like, nope, not Destiny.
So there's a character in there that actually gets split into 3 because of some resonant frequency relic thing. So he actually gets split into 3 other characters, which is great. Yeah. So I tweeted out a joke asking if it was masturbation or an orgy if all 3 of them were doing sexual things with each other.
That's awesome.
And the person that liked it was a senior designer at BioWare.
Oh, that's cool.
But I think that's my favorite joke, because it's kind of just like, And it kind of makes you think, but you don't want to think about it.
Well, I know you're chomping at the bit, Hazel. I'm sure you have a favorite.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've got one.
I don't know.
I won't wait for you. I'll tell you mine. This was one you wrote. It's been a while, but it was between a ghost and a warlock, and I'm a warlock main, so I definitely identified with this. The ghost says, "Why couldn't I have an adventurous hunter or a brave titan? I had to have you, a bookworm." And the warlock says, did someone wake up on the wrong side of the grumpy wumpy shell? And the ghost says, "Stop talking to me like I'm a baby." Warlock says, "Such a sad blinky blinks." And the ghost says, "I will kill you." He won't revive him. That's what happens.
That's awesome. Yeah. I just want to say that I kind of take offense to the Titans way you write for Titans because it's so true.
So on point.
Yeah. It skewers me on a level that you'll never know.
He's a Titan main, of course.
I was originally a Warlock main when D1 came out, and then I was a Titan main for a while, and then I quit for 2 months, and I came back as a Hunter main, and now I don't play anything else.
I play all three, I mean, technically, but I always go back to Warlock.
For all three.
I don't give my Hunter or my Titan much time, but enough to keep him relevant.
Yeah.
That's about it, though.
Yeah.
I think my favorite bad Destiny joke would have to be definitely not my cat biting me on the wrist right now because he's trying to rub his tummy, but ow!
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'll leave you alone. Probably my favorite bad Destiny joke would have to be, I remember it being, oh fuck, I just had it right there.
You only have 1 million to choose from.
Right? Oh god, what was it? I actually made a comic of it. Because I did bad Destiny joke comics for a while.
Oh, okay.
Fuck, I can't remember. It was a Blade.
Well, they're like all your children. I know. It's.
Oh my god! Like there's so many. Do I
Yeah.
have it somewhere? No. Fuck.
Well, no, maybe we'll come back to it. If it comes back to you, just mention it. No pressure.
We'll edit it in. No worries.
Well, we'll throw it in later if we have to.
Yeah. Well,
Where the fuck did my comics go? They're off my hard drive. What the?
Uh-oh. Gary, what did you do to my computer?
What happened? Oh well, whatever.
Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. It was just an aside question. No big deal. We can, if you think of it though, we can add it in later.
Okay.
Beauty of editing.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank this guy. He's a genius at editing.
Oh, making me blush.
Please don't leave that in. You can edit that out.
Leave it in.
That's going to be a soundbite. What are you kidding me?
Damn.
Damn it.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, my favorite, one of my favorite Destiny jokes, bad Destiny joke, is Warlock.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit. Warlock, what are you doing? Filling out my orgasm donor card. Warlock, I think you mean organ. Titan, no, it says it right here at the top. Warlock, what? What the fuck? Titan, done. Who's first? Hunter, me. I called it. I'm so ready.
Yeah, I remember that one. That's great.
Oh, man. That's so
I think
cool.
one of my favorite text-based ones is it's a guardian and a ghost like just running around the EDZ, and the ghost is like persistent on scanning this one rock which they've scanned like 1 million times.
Right.
And so the guardian's just like, all right, fine, scan it again, even though we scanned it 1 million times.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ghost's like, all right, scanning. It's a rock.
Don't you hate that when that little sound comes up? You're like, I already scanned this. Come on.
I know.
Moving on. But you're a gamer and you're like, okay. I heard the clickety clicks. I got to do it. Yeah. Hey, normally we cut things short on the interview, but if you don't mind, we like to keep going a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
You're
fine.
You're fascinating. I love this. Me and Hazelnut both conferred. We'll just cut our main Destiny talk a little short if we have to. Well, now I believe we have a speed run. Hazel, do you think?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think she's excited for this.
All right.
Talk so much. Drink of water.
Right after this.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Jinsen Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, boys and girls. This segment is called the Speed Run. This is where we have a database of over 125 randomly asked questions. And Isakole here is going to have 60 seconds to answer as many as she can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and we're going to keep track of how many were answered each week by each of our guests. Questions are randomly asked, so no one can memorize the order, and just answer quickly whatever comes to mind. At the end of the year, the guest with the most questions answered will win a cool prize. Tonight, I'm going to ask the questions randomly from our list. Hazel is our timekeeper and quality control expert. In the event of a questionable answer, Hazel's decision will be final. Sin and Kingsley Mack are the co-leaders still, at 26. So, Isakole, you ready? Yep. All right. Deep breath. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Hunter.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Human, awoken, or exo?
Exo.
Favorite color?
Teal.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Who would be the new Hunter Vanguard?
Aldrin.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
If you had more time, what would you do with it?
Sleep.
Anna Bray or Ada 1?
Ada.
What is your favorite animal sound?
Panda yawning.
Who shot Aldrin, you or Petra?
Petra.
What's the latest you've been up gaming?
27 hours.
Wow. What is your favorite Destiny planet?
Titan.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Void, solar, or arc?
Void.
Pulse, auto, or scout rifle?
Scout.
Drifter, evil, yes or no?
No.
Pineapple on pizza?
Fuck no.
What was your first video game?
Spyro.
Where is your ideal vacation?
Tokyo.
Do you have a tattoo?
Yes.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Grenades or melees?
Melee.
Not bad. Not bad.
Man, he was moving.
She was moving. I was looking. It was getting close. It was getting close. Very nice. Very good job, Isakole. That was awesome.
That was
Well,
great.
Hazel, what do we got?
23.
Yeah. That was that
The score.
for your first time. That is impressive.
Yeah.
I could see Kingsley and Sen just sweating bullets right now.
Yeah.
You know, they just put their ear close to the speaker and go, okay.
They're like, okay, I count that one. I count that one. Kingsley's got his stopwatch out too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for doing that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's just a little segment we have every week. We just kind of have fun with our guest. But I just want to remind everyone that we have a channel in our Discord labeled SpeedRun Question Ideas. So if you have a great idea for a speedrun question, add them there. I did want to announce that we're going to have a drawing at the end of the year. For all the entries entered in that channel, we'll be giving away a $25 gift card. Just our little way of saying thanks for participating. And if you have more than one, we'll take your top 5, and they'll all be put in the drawing. So good luck. So I guess, Isakole, I think you beat Green. Oh boy, I hope she doesn't hear this. Oops. Oh, we're live. Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like a celebrity? I mean, you have so many people following you every day.
So it's kind of weird because I do and I don't.
Okay.
I went to Guardian Con / now GCX for the first time last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my first time being around the Destiny community like that, but also having a booth, which was so fucking stressful. But my friend Salty Cat, who's one of the main founders of the Destiny community, artists community,
I've heard of her.
He's like, you have to come out. You have to have a booth. People want to meet you. I'm like, no, there's like, I just write jokes, dude. There's no way. So he kind of kept urging me to, and it's like, all right, fine. Like, depending on how much a booth is, I will go. It's like $100 for a booth for Artist Alley, which is really good, actually.
That's not bad.
It's really greatly priced. It's like not extra for electricity or anything, which is like, they're really spot on over there at Rare Drop. It's great. So it's like, all right, fine. I'll come out. I'll have some fun. Because I at least get to meet like Green, Dwyer, all the people I game with. It's like, all right, fine. So headed out there, and I hadn't even come out of the airport in Orlando yet, and someone's like, I know you. You write those jokes. Keep in mind, this is before Shaxx Motivation started, and Bad Destiny Joke only had 2,500 followers. So it wasn't blown up to 15,000 it is now.
Right.
And it was just kind of weird to me. Like, how fuck do you know me? Like, I do maybe 3 selfies a year. They're like, no, I know you. You write those jokes. I'm like, yeah, that's me. And they're like, oh my God, it's really you. And it kind of freaked out a little bit. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to go to the hotel now. I'll see you there. Come by my booth. Thanks. Cool. It was just kind of weird to me because I wasn't popular in school at all. I was bullied a lot. So I've never been the popular one. So it was kind of really weird to me. And then, like, I was just running around the hotel getting my booth set up like that Thursday before they opened that Friday. And people were like, you're the Bad Destiny joke person. You write those jokes. Oh my God, you're Cole. And it's just like, how the fuck do people know me? Like, I just write jokes. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was really weird to me. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
this was before Shaxx Motivation?
This was before Shaxx Motivation started.
That's awesome.
Because I didn't start Shaxx Motivation until a month, almost 2 months later.
Okay.
So it's just like, okay, that's cool. And this is like, I started Bad Destiny Joke as a hashtag on my personal Twitter maybe a year before that. And then I started the single Twitter account for it on January 13th of that year.
Okay.
So it had grown already to 2,500 followers by July. So it's like a year and a half. It's grown to 15,000 followers. I just realized, holy fuck. So it was really weird to me. Like, I get it. Like, people were excited, but it's just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I was just in a whirlwind.
You kind of realize how much of an impact you've had on people.
I really didn't. And like, so we opened up that Friday, you know, I'm sitting at my booth and I hear Broman out there going, we're opening up the doors. Like, are you excited? Like, you just hear, like, you're sitting in like the convention hall at your booth. There's nobody in there but the people at the booth.
Right.
And I have Bunchy immediately to my left across from the aisle. Wow. I have Elaine of Nerd and Needle to my right.
Heard her.
She's a sweetheart.
Yep.
And then Bife stole the booth right behind me, so I'm like surrounded by all these awesome people. His line was so long.
I bet.
And because his line was like coming towards my booth and then around the corner to his booth, people were like having me sign shit and then immediately having him sign the same thing. Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
That'd be so cool.
It was so weird. But like, just to have like people just come up going, I love your jokes. Like, they're just brighten my day. It's just people gushing about. I'm like, this is weird. I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. This is odd, but this is kind of cool. Like, it's kind of a weird Twilight Zone. It makes you feel like a celebrity, but you're kind of like, you know the feeling, and you kind of don't want to know that feeling because then you kind of feel like an asshole. But it kind of feels nice. It's really weird. When you say it's kind of like that imposter syndrome a lot of people deal with.
You're like, they can't like me. That can't be right.
Like, you're kind of just blowing it out of proportion in your own brain, but cool.
Yeah.
It was really fucking cool. It's really validating is probably the term I'm going for. You're being seen in the community. Like, I went over to the Bungie booth just to say hi to all the devs, and I walked right up to DMG, and I went to introduce myself, you know, holding out my hand, like going, I was about to say, hi, I'm Cole. He's like, he turns around, he's like, Cole! Hey! Like,
they probably pass on your jokes through the whole network.
That's awesome.
Like, what the fuck, man? But just like DMG knew me right off the bat. Fucking Bife was just like right there, and all the artists got together because Elaine was super nervous about having a booth. So we all kind of like came together to support her because this was back when they first started dating. I've known this entire fucking time before they announced it a few weeks ago. Like,
sure.
I've held it in for so long. But and we were just standing around there, and Bife is the reason Bad Destiny Joke blew up so much because he kept retweeting my jokes.
Nice.
And I told him, like, hey, thank you for all the retweets, all the likes. You really helped get me to where I am. And he kind of just looked me in the eye and said, when we see good people in the community, we reach down and help pull them up. And I almost started bawling right then and there. I'm like, oh my God, dude, you can't be serious.
Wow.
But like the rest of the weekend was just a whirlwind of just finally meeting the friends I all gamed with. Like that's when I met my best friend Green first time face to face. So I was actually sick the whole time, which was awful.
Okay.
But like we went to the steakhouse, like right on the property. It's like a 2 Michelin star steakhouse. It's really fucking good. Really expensive, but it was so worth it. And we were sitting in a booth. I was sitting there with a couple of friends, and as we were getting up and leaving, I'm not even joking. Like, you can ask my friends who were there with me. We were leaving, and I hear from the kitchen, "Oh my God, it's Cole!" Like,
from the kitchen?
From the kitchen.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
That's awesome.
Like, are you serious? Like, there's somebody in the kitchen that knows me? Like, are you kidding me? Is this a joke? Like, haha, funny. But like, no, I was a legit person that was a fan of jokes. And then packed up, went home, and I was standing in line to board the plane.
Right.
And there's someone standing next to me going, "Wait a minute, didn't I see you at the convention?" Like, yeah, I had a booth. And like, oh my god, you write the jokes. I'm like, please just let me get on this fucking plane. I'm so exhausted because I had a migraine the entire time. It did not break whatsoever.
Oh no.
It's just like, please just let me on the plane. Like, I'm really happy that you're happy, and I'll sign whatever you want me to, but please just let me get on the plane. I was so tired.
Wow.
And then getting off the plane, sitting at baggage claim, there was another person. Like, you got to be kidding me. Like, please just let me get home. Because it's actually kind of exhausting after a while. It's just like, yeah, it's me.
Right.
I want to go home. I want to be away from people for like 10 days. It's definitely, I do feel like a celebrity, but I don't feel like an asshole celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, I try to be as down to earth as possible.
It's
like,
the best kind.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel it, I get it, and I kind of bask in a little bit because I never had that popularity as a kid. I got bullied and beat up all the time, so it's kind of nice to me. But it's just like,
you kind of quiet in school when you were younger.
Oh,
I was definitely quiet. I was very shy.
But like, see, I definitely feel like a celebrity.
That's good.
I feel like we get held to a higher standard. So, there's a lot of picking and choosing of words, but it's just like, at some point, I just don't fucking care anymore.
I don't get starstruck that easy. If Tom Cruise came to my front door, I'd be like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? I like your movies, man." I mean, these guys have to, what's the saying? They have to put their pants on one leg at a time every morning. I mean, these are normal people that just do extraordinary things, and they're getting rewarded for it. So
I mean, I kind of get starstruck with some people. Like, like I was having a hard time one day, and Bife was like, "I'm just gonna call you." I'm like, "Fuck you, what?"
He has your cell phone number. Nice.
Well, he like called me in.
Okay.
In the UK.
I got you. I know what you mean.
But he called me, and it was just like, I kind of told him everything that was going on. He's like, and he kind of like, gassed me up a little bit because I was thinking about shutting down Shaxx Innovation at the time, and he kind of just went over everything with me because I felt like I plateaued. I was going nowhere. He's like, just keep going, because the plateau eventually has to go up like at some point, and it did. I got the job of Probably Time Games because of all that I did. But he said to me, and it's so hard to listen to him when you're in a personal call because his voice is just so amazing.
It's booming.
But like, I'm listening, but I'm not hearing what you're saying, but I'm listening.
Right.
But he said to me, I could not think of a better person to be Shaxx. And I kind of just like fell out of my chair a little bit.
Well said.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a thing. I definitely feel like a celebrity a little bit.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well,
at all.
Well deserved as well.
I was just gonna say this is your good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just for what you've done and what you put into this community and what you continue to do with the community, it's just it's great to see that, and you deserve it.
And the weird thing is, I don't feel like I've done enough for the community. I really don't. I feel like I could do more.
Wow.
No, it's crazy to say, but I feel like I haven't done enough yet.
Well, what would you like to do?
I mean,
in a perfect world scenario.
I would probably take what I'm building for Probably Time Games, because I'm looking at a lot of different things right now about how other studios manage their communities and seeing what works and what doesn't. So I'm doing a lot of outside studying, and currently there's the whole artist thing between Bungie and people like Boompas and all these other artists.
I saw the tweets. Right.
And in a perfect world, I could take what I'm building and bring it to Bungie going, why can't we do this? Because everything I'm writing, like I'm reading so much about, DMCA and legal and all that policies. It's just like, you write the policies and right now they're not working. So let's rewrite them. Like in a perfect world, I would be on that team building a more inclusive, more open, more supportive. Like, Bungie in itself is super supportive of artists.
Well, sure.
But, like, I would want to see more cosplayers built up. Because right now, like, there's a whole community. I'm in a couple of their Discords, and there's so many. And, like, I think they need to be more recognized. I think some left out creations need to be looked at. Like, Lost Angel of Havoc. He wrote a whole bunch of Destiny songs, and he's amazing. Like, he does top quality production by himself, but I feel like that gets glossed over. And then, like, these people who write fanfics, and for some people fan fiction is looked down upon because, oh, well, you're not writing original stuff, or you're just writing, crappy, high school level writing of what you want it to look like. But, like, I know Shadow Smith. I know what she's written. She's written a whole fucking book, like, of just lore, and it's to the T of what's already built. And I feel like the cosplay, the music, the fan fiction really gets glossed over. So in a perfect world, everything across the board, whether it's, some person who's just starting out in art, or, top level artists like Monkus, like, all the way down to beginning artists are seen, not just the top quality. And all of the disciplines, from like the cosplay to the music to the art to crafting to whatever people make based off the game, I think needs to be recognized, because right now it's not.
It only helps build the community and build the brand. I mean,
it does. It really does, because at the end of the day, you have the community, you have the player base, and they are the cake of it. It's like, if you want to talk about just cake in general, like, they are the majority of the cake, just a sponge. And then you have all the arts, all the great stuff that people put out there because they have the love for the game and the studio and all that.
Right.
That's the frosting. And then, like, if you can recognize top to bottom, no matter the skill set, that's all the extra stuff that comes on the cake. So you can call it sprinkles, you can call it candy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's what builds it to what it is and makes it as great as it is. Don't feel like that's being achieved right now.
Yeah, good point. And, that's perfect world. That's why we asked that question.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately not a perfect world, so maybe that will work itself out in time. Well, time will tell. Well, I'm chomping at the bit here. I gotta hear the story of how you met Green. We interviewed Green a few weeks ago, and she really doted on you as well. And you guys must really be really great friends.
Yeah.
How'd this ever come to be?
So we're both big roleplay fans. Like, we will take a character for each of ourselves and just post back and forth. Like, I'm a huge roleplay nerd. I love it. Which is funny, because that too gets looked down on as just like, oh, it's just smut, or it's just, one line post. Like, no, we do full on fucking paragraphs. And we met through a Destiny roleplay server that somebody else ran, and we kind of just clicked on a text level. And she was playing mostly on Xbox at the time. And then it's like, well, she's like, all right, I'll hop over to PS4 that we can play a little bit. And at that point, we kind of just started creating our own little group to play on PlayStation. So she kind of started jumping more over there instead of Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And we really met during the original Solstice of Heroes. So all those years ago, when we had the original Solstice, like, what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah, sounds about right.
And we met during the event, and we just ran together almost that entire fucking weekend. Like, we just kept going, hey, are you on? Hey, let's go do this. Hey, let's go do that. And we just, like, clicked.
That's a good sign.
And we kind of just kept going from there. It's like, it's come to the point where, like, whoever's up first during the day, it's like, hey, good morning, and we talk all the time.
That's awesome.
It's great.
And, like, no matter what's happened, like, drama, whatever, like, not between us, but, like, surrounding us, we've kind of just, like, held on and weathered it together. She's like a sister to me now. Like, I can rely on her for anything whatsoever. And it's kind of funny, because I kind of was starstruck when I first met her, because she's like, you're the person that's, you're the co-host of Focus Fire Chat. Like, you're kind of big to me.
Right.
And on the other side, she's like, you write bad Destiny joke. You're kind of a big name to me. So it's kind of funny how that worked out. But we really met during that original Solstice, and we just clicked after that. And then last year when we met at Guardian Con for the first time, I kind of knew what she looked like. And she kind of knew what I looked like, but it was mostly, just like we knew each other's voices. And I texted her like, hey, I'm here. I'm at check-in, because she got there before I did. So I'm checking in, and there was like no lines or anything. So it's kind of an open lobby at the time. And I look over and I just like see somebody out of the corner of my eye, like peeking around a pillar. I was like, yes, like whatever. It's just a person. This place is filled right now.
I could picture Green peeking around a pillar.
Yeah. And then I look over again because I felt somebody right there next to me, and she said hi. And I knew as soon as she said that, like, this is Green. And like, I'm not even fully checked into the hotel, and I just start crying like, oh my God, you're finally here. And we're just kind of like, we hugged for so long, and this, like, we were inseparable that entire weekend. We met that Wednesday, spent the entire fucking afternoon, night, whatever, together. And then the following day, we got matching tattoos. Granted, we only, like, it was 2 weeks before that, I'm like, hey, do you want to get a tattoo with me? And she's like, hell yeah, let's do this. And we got the original Solstice ghost shell. So, like, it has all the, has the gilding and everything on it.
Yeah. It's a nice ghost shell.
And, like, the gilding is in black, and then the actual ghost shell is in, like, a teal, green, blue, because we have the same favorite color. And so that's what the shell is. And then, like, the eye is obviously filled in the blue. And I have it on my left arm, right below my elbow on the inside. She has it on the right. So it worked out really well. And then coming out where the ghost shell splits in the middle, those two little black lines.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes around each side of the arm, and has each line has a little ship on the end, like on the Seeker emblem for guided games.
Okay.
So it's kind of like our two ships coming together out of the ghost shell. Nice. Around the arm. Yeah.
I love that emblem, by the way. It's a cool emblem.
We got it less than 24 hours after meeting face to face.
Wow. That's incredible. Awesome. That's incredible.
Yeah, Gator just messaged me separately and said, hey, we need to get tattoos. I'm like, maybe for episode 60.
Yeah. 60? God, that's not far away. I got more time to think about this. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
We've been best friends ever since. Just message. I don't think we've ever had an actual fight between us. Like, we're just two chicks living it up in Destiny, just killing shit together, and it's great. Like, I love it.
Yeah, and she mentioned to us when we were interviewing her that, like, you keep an eye on your stream, and she keeps busy killing stuff while you're having to talk to your stream and stuff. Because she says she's your lieutenant.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because I get so many questions in chat when I'm streaming. It's just like I try to concentrate and kill at the same time. It's just, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Well, let's segue to that. You like you have other things to do. You also stream on Twitch. Yes. What's that like for you? What do you think about streaming?
So it's been on and off for a while. I did some streaming back during TTK. Like, I was trying to start out, and I worked a really odd shift at the time, so it wasn't really consistent. And then I kind of gave it up for a while because I didn't, like, there was no traction or anything. I was sitting at 0 viewers for like months. So it's just like I kind of gave up for a little while. But I ran like a few charity streams with some people backing it. And like my first charity stream, I raised $1,000, which was incredible.
For your first, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did a marathon because I was in a huge clan at the time. That's, second in command. And I scheduled a whole bunch of raids. I ran Vogue, Crota's End, King's Fall, and Wrath of the Machine 3 times on normal and 3 times on hard in 24 hours.
That's a lot of raiding.
It was so much raiding, and like I was so exhausted because that was my first charity stream and my first 24-hour stream.
I'd be dreaming of Crota floating off in space when I slept.
Dude, when you hit hour 16, you're fucking dead.
I bet.
I don't recommend 24-hour charity streams at all because they're so hazardous to your health because you're up for more than 24 hours.
Yeah.
You're up 2 hours beforehand or at least an hour to do setup.
Yeah.
And then you have to have an hour to wind down. Like, I scarfed down a whole fucking pizza after my 24-hour stream.
And you're focused. And you're focusing on a task, too, at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of work.
After a while, if you're using the controller, it's like,
right.
It was awful. And I've done it twice, and I don't recommend it at all. Don't do it. Just don't. It's not worth it. But then I kind of gave it up for a while. Did a little bit here at the house, and it's just like, it just didn't work out at all. And then they announced Trials, coming back, what it is now.
Right.
And I was super excited because I love Trials. It's great. Like, it was great back in D1. But, like, I was stupid excited. I'm like, this is Trials. I'm going to get this. I'm not, like, I didn't want to do a Sherpa stream because I can't carry people to the lighthouse. I'm not that good. But I was happy with taking people into Trials to get their feet wet because I know a lot of people are afraid to go in alone, or they don't have a team, or they don't want to go in with somebody and drag down their ELA or whatever. And it's just like, I don't care about that stuff. Like, if you want to play, then get in my backpack and we'll fucking go. Like, I don't give a shit about my scores or my ELA or whatever. If you want to have fun, let's go have fun.
Right.
And I was going to do that whole stream, every Friday I was going to do, Trials fun, just Trials school, teach people call outs, all that. Because most people just don't know, because Trials is different, Crucible.
Yeah.
100%. And I just want to teach people the ways that, that could help them out to have fun with their own friends.
Right.
And then it came out, and the first to third game coin farming just blew up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I couldn't break out of third or fourth game, even with the team I ran with.
You and a lot of streamers.
And it's just like, it kind of just felt like fucking bullshit to me. Like, I don't want to take people into this because it's just going to discourage them. Like, I can't stream this. Like, this is awful. Because even I was getting frustrated, and I don't like getting frustrated on a stream because no one has a good time. I'm not one of those rage streamers. I can't do it. That's not what people watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I kind of changed it up to just, dorking around with Green and Dwyer and just, having fun. And it kind of petered off for a little bit because it was going great for a while, and then, like, for some reason just dropped off again. And I was going through some, stressful stuff at the time. So it just, like, I kind of just let it die a little bit. And then I'm trying to do it more consistently now. Like, I moved today's stream to tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw the tweet.
Yeah. And I want to do it more consistently just to have a space where people, can hang out.
Sure.
There's no, there no carries or, all of that of, trying to do a raffle or doing a giveaway or, trying to do world's first or these ridiculous things like, just a chill hangout stream where I kind of get a little goofy because I get hyper.
Sure.
But I generally enjoy it. I'm not pushing for partner or anything. In fact, I don't think I even want partner. I hit affiliate and I didn't even know it for 2 weeks until I looked at my email going, oh, fuck, I hit affiliate. Okay, cool. I'm definitely not trying to make it a career because I don't think I could do it as a career.
Well, my God, you have so many things you do every day.
Yeah, exactly.
How would you even have time? I have mad respect for streamers. That is a tough job. I mean, you're an entertainer.
Constant hustle all the time.
It is. It is. So
I just don't think I could do it at all.
You have so many irons in the fire, and I think some of those other irons are more important. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Isakole. I mean, thank you for letting us delve into your life a little bit here. And I tell you what, Hazel, let's go 2 more questions. You ask one and I'll ask one, and we'll close it out.
All right. Keeping that in mind, I'm going to go with, it's one of my favorite questions.
I know what you're going to ask.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
I have to change it up because he probably does. Fuck. All right. So, do you have any hobbies outside of gaming?
I do, actually. Believe it or not. So I do love to do art. Most of it's just Destiny art. But I like to do it on all that. Actually, I'm sitting in front of a 19-inch Chew-On drawing tablet right now, which I've scribbled like one figure on it. I've just been the whole time, so I really haven't done anything on it. But I do like drawing. I do like world building. I've actually built an entire sci-fi opera down from the space physics to the like all the biological things for the environments in the species, like even down to their gestational periods. So I go way deep when I world build. I still do a lot of role play because I find I just find it fun, and I do Krav Maga a lot.
Very
Not
cool.
a lot, but it's something I do on the outside just to like help get back into shape. I used to do paintball a lot.
Oh, that's fun.
I love paintball. I actually went semi-pro for a while, but then I got hurt, which put me in a wheelchair.
Okay. That explains it. Yeah.
But I love that. But just like, there's some things, but mostly gaming. And I know it's bad to make your personality all about gaming, but to me, it's just like, it's making those memories. Because like, I even met my husband through gaming, so it's kind of a big deal to me.
Yeah. Everybody has their own thing they do. There's nothing wrong with that. And as an older guy, I still love gaming. And if I talk to a lot of my friends in real life, they have no clue what I do. It's just not at this age, they're putting kids through college and have jobs, and it's just so dreary sometimes. I think it's so nice to be able to get away and game.
Yeah.
That's why I love Destiny so much. Yeah. All right. 2 more questions, Hazel. 2 more. I can't leave this one out. I'll let you ask the one you want to ask. Isakole.
Mm-hmm.
What's behind the gamer tag?
So, kind of a 2-part story. It's a mashup of my first and middle name, Isakole, but that's not actually my legal name. I'm not going to say what it is, just because I'm changing my legal name to my gamer tag, or what I say is my name, Isakole, because my legal name gives me panic attacks.
Okay.
So, like, if you say my first name in a certain tone or a certain raised voice, I actually, like, clam up to where I can't speak. My face goes ghostly white, and I start shaking because of the childhood I grew up in, where my own name gives me a panic attack. So, I'm actually legally changing my name to Isakole, which is just mashed together to make my gamer tag. And by the way, it's a fucking bitch and a half to get your name changed. The full entire fucking name.
Really?
It is horrible. Oh,
Good
yeah. You had to get FBI fingerprinted and everything.
I was going to change my name to Gator. Damn it.
G-A-T-R.
G-A-T-R. Yeah, it could be one of those, like one of these prog rock bands. Oh, jeez. All right, Hazel, you close it out.
All right. Well, this is going to be a kind of a daunting question for you. I hope it's not, too much for you. But do you have a motto or mantra?
I would have to say I borrow from other people, because there are some people I do look up to. And one is Young Khan with his Conquer, which is just amazing. I think I have like 10 of those bracelets sitting around. Like I'm looking at one right now. And then there's a quote from Robin Williams that I always remind myself of. And I forget the exact wording, but it's the gist of the people who smile and laugh the most are the ones who are the ones struggling, which kind of hits home for me, because I always had to be the happy-go-lucky one as a kid, and like people see me as the happy-go-lucky one online, but most people don't know that I dealt with depression for so many years and 2 suicide attempts and all that. So both of those, Conquer and the quote kind of just hits home for me, because like you gotta just keep going. It gets better eventually. It takes a while, but it gets there.
Isakole, thanks for sharing that. That was Well, thank you again for sharing your life with us. You had you're so fascinating. We went way over what we normally interview folks, but I think I don't care. I'm going to put it all in. It's so good.
I warned you that I can talk forever.
No, we don't have a problem with it at all. It's your time too. So
1 second now, because there's one question you guys left out, which I think some people want to hear.
Oh,
yes. I was going to ask it, but I didn't want to go any further. But okay, I'll ask it. This is the one you're thinking of. What's one thing about you that no one knows?
That's actually not the one I was thinking of. I'll definitely answer that one.
Okay.
So the one thing that nobody knows is that I once dated a porn star.
Oh, wow. Now there's the title. So many good ideas.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Outstanding. Well, then, Hazel, let's see if you can guess what the question is. I failed. I think I know what it is.
I'm still hung up on the previous one.
Yeah.
What was the last game you played outside of Destiny?
Fall Guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All
I
right.
am loving Fall Guys myself.
Isakole, before we go, I got a question for you. How did you start Bad Destiny Joke and Shaxx Motivation? What was the impetus for you to get started in this?
So, I've actually written 3 Destiny novels prior to Bad Destiny Joke. I have one that has over 300 chapters.
Oh my God.
Which I release weekly, and people loved it. I released it on a Clan website because I had a blog feature that nobody used except me. And I put out a weekly chapter, and people loved it. And that was my first book. Went through it a second, wrote a third, all for people to see, which, have all been taken down now. And then I tried to make an audio drama, so kind of like, radio theater, but a podcast of, a Destiny story, and it flopped. Like, the trailer just didn't go anywhere, and the pilot just, people didn't like it. So I still wanted to do Destiny writing, but I didn't want to write another novel, because I already done it 3 times. So I just started doing Bad Destiny Joke as a hashtag on my personal Twitter, and it just kind of blew up from there. I was putting I think I was putting 3 to 5 a day, just little jokes in there because I just wanted to keep writing, and eventually led into it having its own Twitter account, which started last year, so January 13th, because it's 6 months. It's actually my half birthday. I started it. So I started last year, January 13th, 2019. And it's exploded to 15,000 followers. And during that time, I was making jokes of Shaxx gassing up Guardians doing simple things like folding their laundry or putting on socks or, just stupid little stuff they should already be doing.
Right.
And people would reply going, I need a Shaxx like this in my life. And I made 4 or 5 jokes of, Shaxx just doing, yelling at Guardians, just saying amazing, you drink coffee, great, have some water. And, people were loving it. And so it was to one point where I think I saw this person post for the 4th time, I really need a Shaxx coach. So it's just like, you know what? I got rid of Bad Borderlands Joke because I can't play the game. The graphics make me physically sick. And then Bad Anthem Joke was shut down because I stopped playing the game. So I made Shaxx Innovation because, all right, I can do another Twitter account. It's not that big a deal. And I tweeted out the one original tweet on August 21st, 2019. And I retweeted it, and then more people retweeted it, and Miles Luna from Rooster Teeth suddenly got a hold of it, and it just exploded to, I think it's about to hit 28,000 followers since August of last year.
That's amazing.
So it kind of just it just kept building and building, and it's exploded, and I have no idea where the hell it's going, but it's there now, and it kind of just kept rolling from a tiny little mud ball into a giant fucking rock that's, rolling over the community.
And that you have to create every day. Just about.
Yeah. And I mostly do it from my phone.
That's amazing.
This entire empire has been mostly built from my phone.
Well, heck, Hazel podcasted from his phone for what, 2 months?
Yeah, and I think we lost viewers or listeners. So, yeah.
Well,
about that, yeah.
I feel we need to ask this before we move on. As a woman gamer, what is it like, or what problems do you maybe see in the gaming community right now about women gaming in most communities? Do you have an opinion on this? If you don't, it's fine.
I do, actually.
Okay.
So coming from the Halo days, and seeing, because being on Twitter all the time, I see female streamers post, people being assholes to them in Overwatch. There was this one lady who actually clutched a whole Valorant round during the beta, and they kept telling her to throw and, calling her stupid and all that for actually winning the round for them because the rest of them were fucking dead. And it seems to be a constant thing of women, either cis or trans, of having to fight for a place when we make up like 50% of the fucking population. Like, we're here.
Right.
We're not that fucking rare. We're not some token gamer chick. Like,
Sure.
there's plenty of us. We're out here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely some strife that still goes on, which seems stupid to me because it's been, 10 years now since I won that Halo 3 tournament, and people thought I was just, sitting around cheering on a boyfriend. 10 years later, we're still dealing with the same fucking bullshit. But it's definitely gotten better to where, females are taken seriously. But yet, we still don't have a presence in the Overwatch League, which Green and I watch a lot. I don't see very many female competitors because they get ran out for whatever reason. Like, there was a Overwatch streamer who was competing in, Overwatch League, and she got ran out because she was a female. But yet, we have men drooling over Diva, who is in the fucking game in her lore. She was a streamer turned, battle mech soldier, and she's a fucking badass. But yet, they're fine with having a character like her. So it's just all ass backwards. But if you pull back and look at it from an overall perspective, you'll find that the males who just go after these females saying, you can't do this, or you need to get the fuck out, or, go make me a sandwich, whatever the fuck they want to say, which we're so tired of hearing.
Or are you here for your boyfriend in the tournament?
Like, these are the males who are trying to make it as competitors. They're trying to get an ego. They're trying to be this, these big badass people.
Sure.
But they're not there. They're not in those ranks, but they're trying to be. Right. But they're never going to fucking make it because they're too much of an asshole. And then when you look at the top tier people, like Paris, who is fucking fantastic. I love that guy.
I like Paris. I love Paris.
And he's, gassing up all these females. It's just like the men of higher caliber and intelligence are the ones supporting the females. Yeah. But there's so many lower tier males that make up such a major population that don't get dealt with by the studios. That's what's hurting female gamers. Studios need to fucking step up and take a stand. Like, granted, okay, they paid $60 for your game, or they put in a couple of bucks for V-Bucks in Fortnite. Right. But when I saw the Twitch clip of that female, that, the lady being bullied and just talked down to when she was clutching that round for her team during the Valorant beta, I don't want to play that game now. Like, just from that one clip, I don't want to play Valorant if they're not going to do anything about that. Like, I don't want to be around that bullshit. I stopped playing CSGO because I was being bullied as a female. Like, if studios don't take a stand, they're losing out on revenue. Like, think of it this way. How many people saw that Twitch clip of Valorant on Twitter?
Good point.
Like, thousands upon thousands of views. Now, how many people aren't going to pick up the game because they see the toxic community? It's not worth it to the studios to not seriously look at these people and fucking ban them. I don't give a fuck if they pay their money. Take your fucking money back. I don't want it. But we can't move forward until the studios start moving forward. Okay. Because that's what needs to happen. As a community, we can help drive out these people. We can speak up all we want, but until we start deplatforming these bigger names or whatever, these streamers trying to make it, we're acting like assholes, and then the regular players kicking them out, not letting them back in. Nothing's going to change until the studios start stepping up and the platforms start stepping up, going, stop. This has to start where they have access, because I can scream at somebody all day for being a fucking idiot and to shut up and all that, and he's just gonna start yelling back at me. I've actually done it over PSN, has actually yelled at somebody and just ripped into them. Yeah. If you think it's scary when I start yelling, you haven't heard me roar like Shaxx does. Like, my voice gets deep and I am running into walls. Shit. As female gamers, we can all come together. Like, there are, these groups, but we shouldn't have to isolate ourselves from Overwatch League or, Halo or whatever. I can't name one big Halo female competitor at all. Can't do it for Overwatch, can't do it for Valorant. I can't name any big female name for any game that's competing. Right. Which is fucking awful. And we shouldn't have to have, okay, here's Overwatch League. Here's female Overwatch League. Why the fuck is this still happening? It doesn't fucking matter for a game. There's no athleticism going on in there like it does in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, body doesn't matter. I mean, we see a whole fucking clan full of deaf guardians.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that clan. They're good too. Yeah,
and we have a guy with one arm who's fucking kicking ass at Crucible.
Yeah.
So why the fuck are we segregating genders in gaming?
I don't understand it. I mean, it's just something deep in the culture, and I'm sure that conversation could go on a bit.
Oh,
we could get into some deep dives on that, but well, thank you. I wanted your opinion on it. Whenever we have a female gamer, we try to at least ask that question because it's not talked about, like you just said.
It doesn't get talked about, and it needs to be. Studios need to step up. Streamers need to start taking a stand. And if you're hearing it in just a regular Discord channel or seeing it on Twitter or PSN party or Xbox, whatever,
right,
speak up. Because if it's your friend targeting a female, no matter, their age,
right,
if they're cis, if they're trans, whatever, if it's your friend bullying this lady, why the fuck are you friends with them? Get better friends.
We've had several female gamers we've interviewed have said the same thing.
Take a fucking stand. Get better friends. There's plenty of them out there. I got a whole fucking clan full of them.
Sure. Yeah. Good point. So. Well, thank you. I like I said, we never go this far on interviews, but I just felt you had a lot to say, and I wanted you to say it. So, thank you for that. No, that's okay. No, that's fine. All right. Well, I believe it is that time to talk about this week at Bungie. Hazel, this week at Bungie, what do we got?
Solstice of Heroes kicked off.
Yes.
Then aside from that, they did do something kind of cool where basically if you get all the armor and all that good shit done the first time on one character, ideally your Warlock if you have that, because I guess the Warlock quest is bugged, FYI. So if you do it first on your Warlock, then you get double progression on your second character and then triple progression on your third. I
have an update to that, by the way. I played on one of my new accounts, one of my other accounts, and I think Bungie, to fix that problem, has just made it triple for everybody. On just the blue armor going to your legendary, what would that be? Your renewed armor to your majestic armor, that step, they have tripled it. Because I was doing it today on my alt account, and I was getting ×3 for everything. So just a heads up. So if you're on the fence about getting this armor, jump on it. It's so quick and easy to get your legendary majestic armor now. Just want to mention that.
Jump on it. Anyway, Bungie Foundation update. Quick FYI with this is that apparently they made over $1 million.
That is nuts.
Over $1 million off of the empathetic ghost shell.
Wow.
So yeah, that's fascinating stuff, and it's moments like this that make me just happy for this community.
Yeah, really.
Even though I may not be playing the game as much as I was before and that kind of thing, and I mean, I'm still going to dabble into it. I think I am going to maybe dive in and maybe possibly work on some armor, maybe.
Yeah,
just because.
It's really quick.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
After giving it like 2 weeks of shit, yeah,
I did it in a day. Hazel. A day.
But like all the sets?
No. I went from renewed. Well, okay, not a day of time, but I did a couple hours yesterday, and I finished it up this morning before I went to work on my renewed to my majestic set. That's how quick it is now. I'm telling you, got to jump on it. And once you get the majestic upgraded to the glows, you can begin to start getting, when you open those packages, those little gift boxes you get from the EAZ, you can start getting high drops. I mean, high level drops. I saw a tweet today. Someone had a 78 stat armor piece. 78. I've never seen a 78 in all my years of playing Destiny, or whatever year of playing with the Armor 2.0. But yeah, I just want to mention that.
I'm kind of glad to hear that, because that means that maybe this armor is not going to be fucking sharded in 2 weeks, or 6 weeks, whatever. How much more?
It's good till season 1360. So whatever that is.
Right, but no, what I mean though is that,
right.
I mean, basically, like, you know, they're like the last set. They were like, hey, it's going to be Armor 2.0 too.
Yeah.
And everybody busted their balls to get it, and
48 stat.
Else.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, wow, look at this. It's so pretty. And then, like, the first drop that we get is like 50, and it's
it was ridiculous.
Blue. And it's like, okay, well, this is shit now.
Yeah.
So, you know. Besides that, they're doing another fashion contest.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to go ahead and slap on your glow once you get that, and then throw that on there and take a fancy picture of yourself doing something fancy in a fancy area.
And I want to emphasize that. Make sure it's in an area that if it's from your inspection screen, they won't count it. I made that mistake last time.
No, it was fine before.
Yeah, it's got to be
wearing blue before, I think.
Right, and it's got to be at a destination. Keep that in mind.
Yep, exactly. And then that's it.
Lots of fixes and stuff. Yeah, the usual stuff. Two Titans and a Hunter will go over all this if you care to listen to them. They go in depth on all this stuff. So, and
everything in the week, they do it better this week at Bungie than Bungie does.
I concede it. That they are excellent at that stuff. So we like to help our brothers in podcasting. Well, good deal. You know what? I think we have some questions from our community coming up. What do you think, Hazel? You up for that? Isakole, you ready?
Yep.
All right. We'll do it right after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the week. This is where we get our Discord and Twitter questions from our community. And we have, I think, several from our Twitter account addressed to Isakole. So, Hazel, why don't you reach in the basket there and grab the first one?
All right. So, this kind of floored me. There's a shit ton of ats here. So, at Guardian_D_cast, at Isakole, at Bad Destiny Joke, at Shaxx Motivation, Poorly Timed Game, at Redjack Network, at Destiny the Game, at Bungie, and at Deej_BNG. How do you sleep, and why is it standing up at noon?
Is there some inside story to that? We don't know.
So, I actually do sleep, believe it or not. It's good 6 hours. I usually go to bed around noon to 1 o'clock in the morning on the weekends, anywhere between 11:30 to 12:30 on the weekdays. And I actually sleep with a stuffed animal. Believe it or not. I have a 4-foot tall teddy bear I put in bed if my husband's not coming to bed with me. And then I have a stuffed Shiba Inu, I think it's called Shiba Inu dog. And it has like a little pouch of lavender seeds in it that you microwave and stuff into the back of him.
Oh, that's so
he's
cool.
Warm and smells good.
That's neat.
But I do sleep with a stuffed animal.
Well, it's no different. My wife has a big giant pillow between us, and I try to climb in bed. I'm like, can you move this, please? I'd like to cuddle. Well, good deal. Good deal. I have one from T-Man the Hero, and he says, what was the most memorable experience while creating all that you have done so far?
It would probably have to be during GuardianCon last year. A friend of mine, he's now a friend, he was a fan and turned friend, named Owen, and he does music. He makes his own Destiny-styled music, and he's really good at it. Like, this is, like, top-quality stuff. And he finished out his first album, and he brought it with him to GuardianCon, and he's autistic, so he has a little bit of trouble, and he's super shy in person. So I knew when he walked up to my booth who he was because he handed me the disc of his first album to sign. And I did. I signed it, and I knew exactly who it was, and I wasn't gonna pressure him for a hug or anything because I didn't want to freak him out. But the entire rest of the weekend, if I saw him and we made eye contact, I'd wave.
That's
hey,
awesome.
Thanks for stopping my booth. And like, I'm happy you really came by. Like, it's really cool. And then I found out later that he actually took the same disc to Fife, and our signatures are right next to each other on his first album disc.
Very cool.
So that's probably my favorite little memory.
I think we have one more, Hazel.
I just keep smiling ear to ear.
It's just great. The positive vibes are just blown up tonight. I'm feeling so good.
I know. So, this is from Curled Sun, 6062.
Mm-hmm.
Do you plan on joining your Xbox Redjacks anytime soon? Question mark. Is it still in the works? Question mark.
It's still in the works. I'm trying to get there. Right now we're on the cusp of that new Xbox, so I'm kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I actually had one, and I sold it to a community member so she could play with her long-distance boyfriend, because she was on PlayStation, he was on Xbox. So I sold her my Xbox so they could play together. It was one of those super rare Halo 4 skinned Xboxes with the custom sounds and everything when you turned it on. I sold it for like dirt cheap too. But so I had one. But yeah, it's still in the works.
Good
still
deal.
Working on it.
Good deal. Well, let's get some more lighter questions now. This is from our Discord. I'm going to start this first one off because this was a very good question. This is from our buddy Warlock. Thanks for popping in, bud. Question for the show. With all the great gameplay, mechanics, world building, and story and lore that Bungie and Destiny has created, do you think players' expectations have gotten higher and scrutinized new games like Avengers and Division as an example? Oof, that's a deep question. What do you think, Isakole?
I don't think so, because even though Destiny is a big game, it's definitely different. There's anything else out there, like say for like maybe Warframe, Anthem, that sort of thing. But Destiny's really in its league of its own, especially with pushing out new content and all that, and constantly having an evolving world. I think overall the expectations have changed, just for games in general. Because back in the day when you were picking up Spyro or something, or like even the original Nintendo cartridges, like shit was expensive back then. $60 was a lot of fucking money back then.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to now. We no longer have the 8-bit visuals. We have full-on rendered worlds that if you do it just right, it's really hard to see the difference between reality and what was made on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even with the PlayStation 5 demo that we saw a couple months back, like that shit looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
So I think overall, the expectations have definitely risen. I don't think people understand what it takes to put into a game, and I honestly think that the prices for games need to rise, because it may look like studios make a lot of money, like, hey, we sold 3 million copies in the first weekend. That's not all profit, because somebody invested into them. Somebody said, hey, I'm going to give you money to pay your devs, make this game, you pay us back.
Right.
Studios are constantly working in the red. It takes a lot to make a profit. So I think, like with, was it First Light? No, New Light? What's the one coming out?
Beyond Light.
Beyond Light. So many lights. I honestly think that Beyond Light should have been more expensive. Like, it shouldn't just be, like, I honestly couldn't tell you what the actual, like, just for the game prices, because I always buy collector's edition. But just take a standard game, like the next Call of Duty. They're going to put it out $60. Granted, Call of Duty makes a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
But I won't say they need more. But I think, one, either the expectations need to come down, or two, people need to start paying more money. Now, granted, I know people are going to balk saying, well, $60 is a lot of money. I don't have it all the time.
Right.
And I kind of want to just look at them and go, if you, like, I know this is going to sound like an asshole thing, but if you're honestly struggling to buy the next Call of Duty game, then your priorities need to be elsewhere. I get that gaming's a release for a lot of people and it helps them get away from the real world. But if you're honestly struggling to pay $60 for a product that was made, then I think you need to focus on your other priorities, because there's more than gaming to life. I think the base for gaming, for just a standard game, now granted, if the game is the actual game, not, a little tidbit and then DLC.
Right.
It's a full-on game, like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mhm.
That needs to be $100 to $130. I know that sounds like a lot, but when you break it down, you have, that money is going to go back to the studio. They have to pay the overhead. They have to pay the licenses for the programs that they use. Because if you buy the program, you don't just buy it. You have to keep paying a yearly license because that product's still being used in the product that you made.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you have to keep paying for the programs. You have to pay for IT. You have to pay the devs. You have to pay the health insurance, dental insurance. You have to pay for paternity leave. You have to pay for insurance. You have to pay for the marketing. You have to pay for all the contractors. I mean, it looks like devs make a lot of fucking money. But look at Blizzard right now. They're in a whole shit ton of trouble because they're not paying their QA people enough. They have people living out of their fucking cars.
Right.
Like, it's atrocious. And yet the CEO is making how many fucking millions of dollars? There needs to be a restructure.
And you're not talking out, you're not exaggerating here because you are actually trying to run a development company. So you know these costs. Granted,
I'm the branding specialist.
Sure.
But seeing it as an indie studio dev, you wear a lot of hats, and Chris and I talk a lot, and there is a whole lot more to just putting a product out there and having people buy it. Like a live world like Destiny, there's at least, I want to say 10 to 15 times more cost because you got the servers, you got constant pushing out of everything.
And they're publishing their own game now too. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah. So they are publishing their own game, so now they have to deal with publisher costs. They have to work out the contracts for that. So people think, I'm paying $60, I need more. But you wouldn't go to a restaurant and say, I paid $10 for this meal. Why don't you give me another portion? Or bring the cost down, but give me the same amount of portion.
Right.
People expect too much because gaming does constantly develop. Like, it keeps getting better. So people think, okay, this chef made, they poured out Chef Boyardee into a bowl. Then they went to chef school and now they're making, 5-star stuff that's delicious. You can't expect us to pay the same price.
No, and they're getting paid much more too.
Yeah. So,
either
the price needs to go up or expectations need to come down. Devs are being run into the ground right now.
I've said this in the past. I'll say it again. 2 people to go to a movie and dinner, $50. And how many hours of entertainment was that? 3 maybe? An hour and 2 hours for the movie? How many hours are you getting out of Destiny?
I think I've gotten over 2,000 hours.
Yeah, I'm there too with you. I'm up there too. 1,500 at least. Yeah.
Pennies.
Exactly.
Penny.
You know what I wish they would do, and I think 30 Still Gaming and I both agree on this point. Shout out to Sergeant McCluskey, by the way. The thing about what I would hope gaming studios do is just get away from the little nickel and diming. Let's just give us the price of the game, give us what the game has, and be done with it. If you want to buy some extra cosmetic stuff, great. But let's come out with a game. This is the way it used to be. When you bought Pac-Man for Atari, you paid your $60 or $72.50 or whatever it was back then. And this was back in 1980 something. You got the game. There were no patches or anything. Good luck. If your cassette quit working or your cartridge quit working and blowing on it and tapping on it didn't work anymore, guess what? You had to go buy another one.
Yep.
But the game was there, intact. Boom. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, the crux of the whole thing is the price needs to go up because the cost has gone up.
Right.
Or the studio costs have gone up. So the price for players needs to go up. And people don't want to do that. So that's why we have microtransactions. But that needs to stay to purely cosmetic, and it needs to be direct buy. This loot box thing doesn't fucking work.
They've done a lot better this time around, but it's a live game. I mean, people are always working on it all the time, so I understand. There's continual cost, even not just server costs, but quality assurance people. I mean, there's things always being worked on Destiny. I mean, think about all the patches they release. They've had double patches in a week sometimes. To fix stuff to make our quality of life better in the game,
Those devs don't go away just because you got what you wanted. They still have their own bills to pay.
Right. Okay, Hazel, you go ahead, man.
Well, I can definitely see that. I mean, the price of games rising and that kind of thing. Now, to me, I mean, I remember when like Nintendo games, PlayStation games, and that were $49.99, and everybody balked when they were originally going up to $59.99 around like PlayStation 4 timeframe.
Yeah.
Maybe PlayStation 3. So, I mean, I think that, I don't know. It's a little bit, I don't know if people are going to pay $100 for a video game.
Yeah.
Like right out of the gate. I mean, I think part of it comes down to that they need, just for myself, I would need to see, who's making it?
Yeah.
And then play the, it's from Nintendo. So, all right, well, it's Legend of Zelda. Okay, well, that has an established baseline with us. We know that that's a good brand and they're not going to fuck that up.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know. I think that you're completely right. I think that, yes, devs do need to be paid more. I think that, and games should be higher in price, but I just don't know about that offset.
It's a delicate balance. I mean, it's something that's going to have to be worked out in time, and the market will determine it. I mean, that's the way it's always been.
Right. And then, I mean, the answer to his question, though, that, I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but apparently fucking, what the hell's the game? Avengers is like an absolute shit show almost.
Yeah. A lot of bombs on it.
That's what everybody's saying. But it's, again, I mean, nobody's going to pay $100 for that.
Mm-mm. Well, the thing is, too, though, on the other side of that, you have the pressure from the players going, hey, I want, top quality. And then on the other side, the studio has the publishers going, hey, this, you have half the development time now. Push this out. We want our money. Right. So it's a real delicate balance because publishers control a lot in a studio, as we saw with Activision and Bungie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was...
And the publishers aren't going to budge, so the gamers better. They better understand. Because devs are being run into the ground. The turnaround time from going from into the industry to out is like a revolving door. It's worse than call centers. So...
I just want to get that question out. That seemed like a really good question for tonight, especially with our guest. We have some from Cole, some from our community to Cole here. Hazel, when you want to pick one out?
Yes, sir. Question from Jealous. Question for the show. Favorite sports drink? Mine is lemon lime Gatorade.
So I didn't start drinking sports drinks until I started Krav Maga, but I rather like the Gatorade Arctic Grape.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a white cherry guy. I like Gatorade white cherry. It doesn't look the best. It looks like really milky in the bottle. It's a clear bottle, but it tastes so good.
You guys are all misguided.
What?
all completely misguided. No. Yep. It's the correct answer is going to be Mountain Blast Powerade. It's the blue.
Okay.
It'll change your life.
We're going to agree to disagree on that one, buddy. I have one from Chris here, Chris3711. Question for Cole. We have all had many achievements and failures in our lifetime, but what is the one that has meant the most to you? P.S. If you say becoming my friend, I would not argue.
I mean, Chris is one of the few people in the world that has my actual phone number.
Very nice.
Nice.
There's probably less than 10 people in the world in the wrestling community that have my actual personal cell phone number.
He's good. He's a class act. He's a really good guy.
I love him. Probably the one that means the most to me, achievement or failure wise, would probably be the failing of my first community, Zero Ravens. I've had it to hurt a lot.
Yeah, you talked about that. Right.
A whole lot of friendships broken. Still kind of dealing with the fallout of that over years later. Kind of get harassed still here and there. But I learned some very important lessons because I used to be a control freak. I used to want to have my hand in everything, and everything had to go my way. I had a very set outline of how things had to be done. So I was actually really hesitant about restarting a community, Redjack Network. I probably debated it for 2 months before I started it. And I did everything opposite of what I did with the Ethereal Ravens. I let people do what they needed to do. I, backed off and, took my hands out of the pot and let people do what they needed to do. And I was not as stubborn. I don't control much about it anymore at all. And it's actually a council that does most of that. So failing at my first community really taught me how to build a successful community, which I'm now taking lessons toward building the community for the studio. So,
okay, good answer.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Hazel. I think we got another one from Cole there.
Yeah. So this is from the beloved Nate Fu.
Nate.
Q for Cole. When do you friggin' sleep?
Seems to be a common question these days.
So I sleep during the weekend or the weekdays. I usually go to bed around midnight or 12:30, and I get up at like 7 o'clock or 7:30, depending on when my cats wake me up. And then on the weekend, I'll be up until like 1, maybe 2 in the morning, and then I'll be waking up at 9 o'clock. So, but I do sleep. I just, I just do a lot when I'm awake.
Right. Why don't we go one more each, Hazel, and then move on. I want to ask them all, but I'm trying to respect Cole's time here. Let's see. This is from one of our newest members, Gorilla Golf. Thanks for posting a question here, buddy.
I know Gorilla.
Yeah, he. Spoiler alert.
Everybody does.
He is going to be a guest on our show very soon. He says he has a lot of stories, and we cannot wait to hear him. Sorry if this has been asked before. What is your guys' greatest gaming achievement and biggest gaming failure or downfall? My biggest achievement was catching all 151 Pokemon on Red version, and my biggest failure was wasting $60 on the game Evolve. LOL. Oh. Cole?
Probably greatest failure was being as hyped as I was for Mass Effect Andromeda, because I'm a huge Mass Effect fan.
Yes.
I
feel your
I was
pain.
super hyped for Andromeda. I've never finished it. I've restarted 3 times. I just can't slog through it. But probably greatest achievement in Destiny, I know I've done 13 flawless Crota raids legit with a different full fire team each time, because there was that stupid flawless raid achievement for D1, so I would actually carry people through a flawless Crota to get them that achievement. And I did that, I'm pretty sure I did that 13 times with a different, 5 people each time.
Wow.
So carrying 5 people through flawless is 13 times is nothing to rub your nose at. But probably the other one on a personal level will be Journey, which is one of my favorite games. Super simple, but it's fantastic. And I'd gone through and got all the tokens for the white robe, so you can pretty much fly infinitely. And in that game, you get paired up with other people playing, but you don't know what their gamer tag is until after the credits roll. So you're pretty much just a symbol for whatever your chirp is. So you're flying with a stranger the entire time. Well, when I started it up, there was somebody there in the traditional red robes, and I was in my white robes on my character, and he was just running around me super excited, because I guess he was really trying to get the white robes, which is kind of hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran through all the levels with him and got him all the tokens for the white robes, which you pick up immediately before you start the campaign. So he got the robes, and then we went through the credits because I wanted to see, what this guy's name was. And before I could even message him to say, hey, I hope it worked for you, he sent me a PSN party invite. Come to find out, it was a 13-year-old kid who was homesick that day from school, and he had been trying to get the robes forever. So he was super excited that I had helped him out. It was really touching that I could help him do that.
Wow.
So yeah, it was nice. I loved it.
Hazel, you got an answer to this?
Greatest gaming achievement? Personally, D1, just like Cole said, is basically just, me, my first time I solo flawless Crota. That was just the biggest thing for me. And I've said it on here countless times, but I mean, it's my little picture on PSN. So if you look me up, that's my stats from when I solo flawlessed it, and it took me, I think, 23 minutes or something like this. And I just started like trying to speed run it from that point forward, just trying to get better at it. And I mean, yeah, it was just so much fun to me. And then maybe for like a group, I mean, I probably would have to say all the times I've Sherped people through just any of the raids, just because it's great to just kind of help people and see people struggling and to say, hey, okay, well, why don't you try this? Or let's try this.
Gotcha.
Failure? Biggest failure? Oh, kind of like a personal one. Not to get too deep here or anything, but had to be for me, I would probably have to say like maybe from year 2 of Destiny 2 on as a failure for me personally. Just because, again, D1, I was all about it. I think I had almost close to 3,000 hours and just, I mean, I was doing Crota constantly. I was Sherping people through that and getting flawlesses for people. I was just doing everything I could for everybody in there. And then something happened, and I don't know what the hell it was, but basically ever since then, ever since like after Leviathan and that, I just sort of fell off, and I don't know what it was. I just kind of lost it, I guess. I don't know. And it just didn't seem as, not really important, but just it didn't really seem as, maybe important, I guess might be the right word there.
It just sounds like you got gamer fatigue. Sounds like. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, we've all been there with Destiny. If we play a lot of hours, especially. Jeez, biggest failure. Plug your ears, Isakole. Was buying. Jeez, I just blanked.
Virtual Boy.
No.
that's a reference that a few people will get, but yeah.
It was buying Anthem before actually watching some streamers play it and realizing that the end game was not there. And I felt like I wasted a lot of money there. My biggest achievement, gosh, I got so many I love. I would say, thinking back to Destiny 1, would be the first time we actually cleared my very first raid, which was Vault of Glass. That feeling when we finally struggled for 4, 5, 8 hours to get through this damn raid. And then that feeling, didn't get my Galahorn, didn't get my Vex Mythoclast. That was 30 raids later, by the way. But just achieving that first raid, I've never had done a raid before. That was such a great feeling. There's so many more, but I'll keep it short. I don't want to keep the show on forever. Thanks, Gorilla Golf. That was a good question. All right, Hazel, why don't you close us out, man?
All right.
I know there's a lot of them.
Yep. And I want to pick one, the kind of positive one to kind of go out on.
Sure.
Let's.
You got the poker app down yet?
Oh, damn it. I haven't had time to work on it for the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, yep. Next week for sure.
July 28th, 2020. That question was entered, just for the record, folks.
I do not guarantee that.
Okay.
What? July 28th?
Yeah. That's the date it was added. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No.
Actually, April 7th.
I was trying to help you there, Hazel. Oh, God. April of 2020. Okay.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to do.
You know what? It'll be
all 150 Pokemon.
That's kind of, that's kind of like people asking Tefty, when are we going to play Witcher 3? And he goes, oh, soon, very soon. So that'll be your little question that we always ask every few weeks. Go ahead, Hazel. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. Gotta go with this one from Jealous. What is your favorite type of taffy? It doesn't get any lighter than that.
Okay.
I don't like taffy.
I'll just pretend I didn't hear that.
It hurts my teeth.
It's so great. Taffy's so awesome. I mean...
no, I take that back. There's 2 types of taffy I like.
Okay.
There is Mountain City taffy, which is the saltwater taffy, and
right.
It's amazing.
Right.
And then there is the taffy that Green sent me from ST's Park, which is amazing. So, and it's like soft taffy. It's not like that hard Laffy Taffy bullshit.
Oh, come on. That was my answer. There is only one answer. It's Laffy Taffy.
Oh.
Banana Laffy Taffy.
Oh my God! Why did I sign up for this?
Please don't judge us all by our worst examples.
God. All right, Hazel. What do we got?
Honestly, I've never had taffy.
What? Well, when we go to GCX, you're going to get some taffy.
Okay, well, I mean,
I'll buy some.
Though. Yeah, well, okay, you can, but I'm going to be deathly afraid of it, apparently. Because growing up, my mom outlawed it from our house.
Really?
Yeah, because she, I want to say like her brother, so yeah, I think it was one of her brothers. They were chewing it and actually pulled out the fillings of his teeth.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was just like, nope, you're not having this stuff in the house. And I'm like, oh, okay. So
was your dad a dentist? I was just curious.
No.
Okay. And sorry, bad joke. Bad Destiny joke. No, it isn't. Just go with it, Hazel. Go with it.
Okay. Sorry. So yeah, but that was a funny story though. A side story about that is because he was eating taffy last night while we were playing Fall Guys, and he was just like, "This is so good, but so bad for me." So
yeah, it's good. Let's just leave it at that. So, hey, thanks everybody for submitting your questions tonight. If we didn't get to your question tonight, we will definitely get it tomorrow. We'll definitely get it next week. Thank you for entering those and keep them coming. Just keep throwing them in there, guys. We'll answer every one that gets put in there. Let's finish our show up tonight. This is where we add our 2 songs each for our Spotify playlist. This is just a little sample of what the 2 of us and our guest, of course, like to listen to. And we invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify. And we now do have a link for iTunes as well for all you Apple guys out there and gals. I'll post a special link if you want to follow that playlist in our show notes. We now have, just for the record, 25 hours, 50 minutes of music, 365 songs, not including what we're going to add tonight. And I will ask first our guest of honor, Isakole, what are your first 2 picks?
So my first pick was Maniac by Carpenter Brute because it is by far one of the best takes I've heard. I mean, I love the original, but I like his take because it just hits so hard. Like, I'm not one for headbanging, but when I play it in the car, super loud,
right,
I want to headbang. Like, it's amazing.
I like it.
I absolutely love it. And then the other one is Pyramids by Coma Duster, and there's not very many lyrics in that song, but Coma Duster is actually, for one, I love the song because it's different. It's really nice.
Instrumentals can be just as good without lyrics.
But Coma Duster is actually the name for the guy that did the music of Mass Effect. So he actually has his own artist name.
Very good.
So, and he did all the Mass Effect music for the entire trilogy. And I'm one of the few people in the world that has his signature, which is in the Mass Effect hardbound copy of the comics.
Okay.
It's like an inch thick collection of I think they just ran a short comic series with Dark Horse, and it was just like standard comic books, and they put it in the hardbound. But my husband, for my birthday, because I'm such a huge Mass Effect fan, he picked up this book at one of our local comic book shops, and we have BioWare down here in Austin. But he didn't realize that it was the Star Wars The Old Republic studio, not the Mass Effect studio, which is up in Edmonton, Canada.
Okay.
So he went over there thinking, okay, I'm going to get this signed for my wife's birthday. Come to find out, not only did they let him in, but the Mass Effect team from Edmonton was down for a one-day meeting.
Outstanding.
He was there.
That's great.
Wow.
Out of all the fucking days. And he asked him, can you take this book and get it signed for my wife? She's a huge fan. And not only did Coma Duster sign it, but the original creator of Mass Effect, one of the producers, signed it as well.
Wow.
And neither one of them signed anything. So it's like a one-of-a-kind book.
That goes on the wall.
That goes in my glass case.
There you go. Well, very cool. Those are some great picks. Thank you for explaining that. I always like to know why people pick their songs.
I mean, I'm a huge 80s fan. I like to believe.
Oh.
Maniac.
Now you're talking.
I absolutely love the 80s.
I love it.
And of course, retrowave, because it's inspired by the 80s.
Yes.
But I like to believe that my EXO, like my guardian, who's an EXO Night Stalker, she's just jamming out to 80s the entire time while she's killing shit.
Nice.
You just made my night. Just made my night.
Why I love that Maniac version so much.
That's awesome. Bring a synthesizer. I'm good. Yeah. Mr. Hazelnut, what do you got for tonight?
So, all right. Well, my first pick is actually from a new show new old show that I started watching. I actually finished season 1 this past week, and it is Doom Patrol. So I finished season 1 of that. That was an absolutely fantastic show.
Yes, it is.
And it took so many different turns that I would never have expected, and I completely and utterly dug it.
It got weird.
So it did get weird.
Get weird, man. It got weird. I love it. Love it.
But it was a really cool moment, though, when they all, came together.
Yes.
And moving on. So my first song is from that, and it's People Like Us from Doom Patrol. This is Matt Bomer, and it's a cover of, it's a nice, positive, upbeat song from the cover of Kelly Clarkson.
Okay.
Actually.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then my second song, I had to take a page out of your book, Gator.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. So I know you love it when people do their research, and I know I very rarely ever do research. So this group originally formed in the early 90s as a cover band, went by the name of Village Idiot. Then they were signed in roughly around like 1990s, and then so they released an album, and it pretty much was dead on arrival. Then they released their second album, and it had one song on it, and it completely took off. And from that point forward, it basically set the stage for them. And my song is actually from their first album. But before I say that, I wanted to say this. Fun fact about this little band that some people may have heard of or may not have heard of. The band's the band's current name, not Village Idiot, which originated from the band member who worked at Starbucks. He'd frequently say, "Here's your Nickelback." You guessed it. My pick is from Nickelback.
No,
that's how you remind me.
No, I'm sorry. I don't have any vetoes, but I'm using my veto tonight. I'm sorry, buddy. There's no way, after what happened to Potato Thumbs podcast with someone putting a Nickelback song in, and I won't mention who. I'm sorry, buddy. I love you, but I can't do it. I'm not putting that in our playlist. No Nickelback. No. I already got a warning from Xanafan. Not gonna happen. Sorry.
Nickelback was the only band I've seen in concert.
I love you for that. I really do. But I have to keep the integrity of our podcast, and I need to keep the respect of our other community members. You got another one, man? Because I'm sorry, that's not going to work. I'm sorry, man.
This is bullshit.
It is what it
Fucking
is.
Out. I'm out.
Oh, okay.
Either Nickelback stays or I go.
Oh, come on, man. Don't make it like that. Don't make it like that. You got to have a backup song. Dig deep. Find something else for me. I'm sure you got something you can find with your massive playlist.
Okay. All right. Just this one time.
Okay. Just this one time.
This is one time, but Nickelback is back next week.
What? Don't you dare do that.
So, I am going to go with, really been sort of stuck in my head lately. It's Angels and Demons by JXDN.
Much better. Thank you. Thank you for that. Any particular reason why you like this song? I'm sorry, you're going on the fly. Sorry.
They say the word fuck a lot.
Okay.
Go with that.
You like that. That's for sure.
Yeah,
okay. Well, let's keep the show rolling here. For my first pick, this band's early beginnings go back to 87. There you go, Isakole. As a solo project, but then they formed a full collaborating band in 93 and finally broke up again for solo projects by 2009. Their sound began as like a psychedelic rock, think Pink Floyd, but they slowly transformed more into the mainstream alternative rock, and now I guess you could finally consider their final product progressive metal. During a career spanning more than 20 years, this group earned critical acclaim from critics and fellow musicians, and they developed a cult following, and I'm probably one of those now, and became an influence for new artists. So my song pick from them is called The Start of Something Beautiful. It's from their 8th studio album from 2005 called Deadwing. It's the group Porcupine Tree. This is part of my Heavy Devy playlist. There's some great songs in there. For my second pick, this is my second song on our playlist from this group, originating from Manchester, England. They formed in 97, and this song is off their 8th and latest album, Giants of All Sizes. It's one of my all-time favorite groups since I saw them live on Later with Jules Holland. It's a UK music show. Long ago, kids. It's their song White Noise, White Heat from the group Elbow. What an awesome and unique artist. I can't say enough about this artist. If someone was to put one group to explain what kind of music I like, this would be the group. And as requested, Mrs. Gator has chosen a song for this week's show. I do need to have a side note here. This was my favorite song from this group, but my wife claims I stole it from her. So in fairness, this is her pick, technically, but I get to talk about it. Hazel, don't roll your eyes. This American folk rock band hails from Denver, Colorado, formed in 2005. The song we picked is from a very special album from 2019, which is titled Roman numeral 3, because the album is broken up into 3 parts, each representing a bandmate's family member that was dealing with trauma or addiction in their lives. So this song was based on a matriarch of the band that had an addiction to opioids. And in the lyrics, this just song haunts me. I have to say these lyrics. Could it be I was the one that held you so deep in the night? On the black back staircase, you fell to your knees with tears in your eyes. All that you suffered, all the disease, you couldn't hide it from me. This song is so haunting to me, but if you really get to know, especially the lyrics, you pay attention to what's in this song, it really will hit you hard. It's the song Salt in the Sea by the Lumineers. And of course, our buddy Zan has added his song for the week. We're almost done, Isakole. Hang in there. He added an oldie but a goodie, and boy, did he get a great one. Stevie Wonder, Sir Duke. What a classic song. He says this, it always makes me happy when this song comes on and it gets stuck in my head all the time. So being I want to be a qualifier in the running for the coveted podcast playlist of the year, I'm going to accept his request again this week. So thank you, Zan. Just want to let everybody know, if you like what you've heard as far as our music picks tonight, I always like to try to post videos of these groups in our from our music, movies, and TV channel in our Discord. So once you know a little bit about these artists, visit that channel and watch a couple of videos by them. It might change your life. It's really good stuff. Hazel, I think we got this, man. I think we've got another one in the can. Just a bit of housekeeping before we go. Just a quick reminder that we do have a Destiny 2 clan, and Hazel and I invite all of you to be a part of it. We did Iron Banner this last week, and even though we got our butts kicked 50% of the time, it was, I had to admit, it was great to be among awesome friends. Warcry, Jughead, Jealous, Flip, Larman, thank you guys. I had a great time this weekend. So if you're looking for a clan out there, we have a permanent link in our Discord under our channel GDC Destiny 2 Clan. You can look for us there. Our call sign is Down, DOWN. Guardian Downcast is our clan name. Hey, if you like what you're listening to tonight, do us a favor, hit that share button. We appreciate it. And as we like to end our show, I'd like to first say thank you, Isakole, for coming on tonight. Your story is very humbling, and everything you've been doing for the Destiny community, I just want to say thank you. You've been very inspirational to me, and I'm sure thousands of others in the Destiny community. And before we go, did you want to share any of your details and where people can reach you if they don't already know, of course?
You can find me on my personal Twitter, which is ISA_KOLE. I tweet a lot, so be warned.
Okay.
And then Bad Destiny Joke, all one word, and then Shaxx Innovation. And then I'm working for Poorly Timed Games. If you look them up on Twitter, there's no S, but we do have our own website and everything. And then also Redjack Network, which that new website should be updated this weekend.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice.
Hazel?
You can reach me at HazelNT, anywhere and everywhere.
Well, you can contact me via the Twitter at Todd the Gator. Remember, that's GATR. You can also find me on YouTube, Steam, and PS4 as Gator. And Gator, GATR, on Xbox. You can find us, our podcast, on iTunes, Spotify, Google, Podbean, Stitcher. I don't know what Google's doing right now. They don't have a Google Music Play anymore. Whoever uses Google Play, I'm sure has been notified on how you can reach us, but we're on some platform with Google. Anywhere you get your podcast, basically. You can email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, and we're on Twitter at guardian_D_cast for show questions or whatever you want to talk to us about. Our DMs are always open. Or just visit guardiandowncast.com for all the details. And we're now on Instagram. Just search for guardian_down_cast. We're trying to start adding stuff there. And what we've been thinking about doing, Hazel, I guess we can mention this, is we're trying to add just a quick pick of something about our guests. So, Isakole, if you don't mind, in our chat, if you could send us just a pic representing you, it could be anything you want, anything you talked about tonight or anything like that, just throw it in our DM. And we'll post it on our Instagram if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, just gives us another dimension of our show, gives us more of a visual dimension where people can actually see the folks we're talking to. We have a great bunch of gamers in our Discord as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and I'll post a link in our show notes as well, as I always do. Everybody, continue to be safe out there. Take care of one another. Wear the damn mask. Please wear the mask. There's so many political things going on right now with this issue, and the science has proven this. Science has proven this. It stops the spread, folks. Wear the mask. I know it's weird wearing a mask. I wear it everywhere I go. So please do that.
Guardians are measured by their ability to come back from defeat. So stand. Fight!
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Bottles.
Thanks, Cole. That was awesome.
Yay.
Thank you for hanging in there.
Yeah, thank you.
We wanted to talk about so much more, and hopefully in the future you'll be back and talk with us again. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of other things to talk about, but that was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you sharing your life with us and what's going on.
Yeah. It's a nice, easy night for me, so I'm just sitting here talking and doodling. Oh, man. I didn't get shit done on this doodle, but whatever.
Well, we ask you a lot of deep questions, so we appreciate you being patient with us and chilling. Hopefully that was the case tonight.
Yeah, it's great.
Glad.
Believe it or not, Boba Fett is technically not a Mandalorian. The nerdom goes so deep.